Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, it's true. Triple cup, best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup, living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see a back card, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup. Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, is true. Triple cup. Best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup. Living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see a back card, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup.
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
Thank you.
I'd be remiss for my friend if I didn't ask you about Fallen Angel.
So the Fallen Angel is a performer named Chris Daniels, and Chicago guy.
Yeah.
And was brought out to Los Angeles, and he had the daunting task of taking someone like me who couldn't move and trying to teach them the basics.
How to move.
The basics of the business.
Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan.
The system is broken. It was time for a revolution. We could be the wrestlers that we want to be.
We have our own stories. We make our own characters.
Different. That's what makes us elite.
I've been forced to vacate the AEW World Trios Championship.
Khan created a revolution.
Show days, super chaotic. A lot of times we get here and we don't know what we're doing till hours, minutes before we go out there.
There literally are, I think some weeks, 100 talents running around backstage.
At that point,
I hope it was good. I just feel like...
You tonight!
That was big.
We've seen this time and time again out of Jericho and Guevara.
That's awesome. That was great. Ah! Yes! Sick!
He's going to take it! And Claudio Castagnoli.
Is that heavy, Tony?
No. I gave you extra time. Takes a break for right now. Go. They're really flying through. Hey, that was great. That was perfect.
1, 2, 3!
Are you okay? That was great. Way to get him up at the end. You got him back. That was great. Pick him up. That was a great finish. Oh, yeah. Going into the card rundown. We'll feel out the ending, and then we'll go into the card rundown bumpers.
With Ty Mello, Dr. Ty and Anna, and Will Nightingale taking Britt Baker with Sky in her sights, and now Sky Blue goes down. My catcher. The team match right there. JD Hater coming up right now. The Elite versus Death Triangle.
The sooner you get to the Death Triangle, the better, man.
Good. All right, the buzzer attack. Oh, this.
We're good. We got a minute or so. We want to get him going. Get him off this.
Mark charging right back at Hangman. Now,
I like this.
I don't think I've ever seen him hit an elbow like that. Oh, modern day pro wrestling. Danielson.
We're doing good. We're doing good on time. This is good. Hey, hometown hero. Way to go. Welcome back. Yeah, it's great.
Welcome back.
Loved it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. You okay?
Oh, I'm great.
Whenever you're ready to get it going. A secret.
What do I say?
What am I saying? Oh my God! They snuck me in. It's beautiful. Thanks for getting in.
Of course. So it felt great to see Tony. He has been incredibly supportive.
It felt great. It's all great. Ah, I like it. Yeah. No, I gave you more time. What's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. I'm your host, the infallible Phil Marks. That is the infallible Phil Marks. Here to remind you that wrestling's not fake. And we are here to mark out and talk about it here tonight on this Wednesday. It is PWT Live Show Wednesday night, Wacko Wednesday. Ladies and germs, I'm excited to be here. Thank you all for being here this evening. It's so funny that 10 minutes of Tony Khan video never ceases to make me laugh and just remind me how ridiculous shit is over there. But how you guys doing, man? It's a new week, and we're all here together, gathered on this day, the day of our Lord, Wednesday, the day of Dynamite. And yeah, we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. I figure we should start with AEW news before it gets on the air. And we should definitely do that. If you guys can see, there's the AEW Dynamite card pulled up. We'll quickly go over that. Then we'll jump into some hot news, as Conan would say. And what else, man? WWE Unreal Season 2 triggered everybody. I didn't think it would trigger everybody this time around, but it fucking did. And it's so funny to see the same people say the same things, or just all these people talk who've never been in creative meetings, who copy and paste each other's tweets, getting triggered about Unreal and creative meetings and shit they don't even fucking understand. And yeah, it's just funny to see people like Bryan Alvarez get triggered and whatnot. We have some clips that we're going to play from Unreal as well. And so that'll be fun. TNA Impact, bad ratings. Okay. I saw a lot of people talking shit. They were going to do 400, whatever K. I've maintained this whole time they have the potential to do that over time. Certainly, for sure. But yeah, I was worried it was going to be around Collision. Not worried, but just especially after the show itself. I was like, God damn, I don't think this will pull a number. And it did about a Collision, which is good. This is perfect. This is perfect because one of these nights Collision is going to end up on a Thursday, and we're going to really see, you know, if in a year TNA is doing 250K, we'll be talking about that. That's growth. You know, that's the opposite of what Collision's been doing year over year. So that will be the real comparison. Up front, I was hoping they'd do over 200K personally. So we'll talk about that and just some TNA news in general. And then Dynamite's on live. If you guys can see the card here. So Swerve Strickland's taking on Kevin Knight. Kenny Omega's taking on Josh Alexander. Samoa Joe's taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. The Death Riders are in a street fight against the Callis family. MJF is in Orlando. Bane and Ford versus the Love Bombs. Holy fuck, is this a lot of matches? FTR, Alec Price, Jordan Oliver. So on the last live show, we talked about how these guys got signed, Price and Oliver. They got signed. And they're going to, I bet they'll sneak a win over FTR, non-title, because it's non-title. And then they'll get like a rematch, and then they'll lose to FTR, but they'll sneak a win because that's the only thing Tone has. He's done it with Jet Speed. He did it with Private Party, like early on, where they snuck a win over the Bucks, and then nothing comes of it. So that's always his go-to booking, you know, maneuver. So Tony Khan needs to go and learn a new hold, bro. That's what I'm saying. And so Price and Oliver, I think, will get a W over FTR right here. I'm not joking. And Triangle of Madness respond to Chris Statlander's challenge. So a jam-packed show, I mean, you could remove 3 matches and just make things matter and have backstage shit and have people talk and really sell people on the show, get people invested in the drama, get some heat on people. But nah, it's just people are like, we just want to see matches. Okay, you're an AEW fan, that's fine. Also, it was announced that Collision will be taped after this Dynamite, which we will get into in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, you can super chat in. You can become a member for only 99 cents. I do member shows. This last Monday, I did a breakdown of how MJF could be involved in getting Trey Miguel fired. So make sure you guys check it out. If you haven't, check it out in clip form. And also, we had fun. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times, or you can just hit like, subscribe, retweet, heart, whatever the hell you are on, whatever app you're using. Just hit that and show support that way. Appreciate you guys. And of course, run the likes up. JDMC from AEL has been a member for 6 months. That rules. Thank you so much.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, those are my plugs. So let's get into AEW news, ladies and germs, because I do want to get through all this before the actual Dynamite starts. So let's head over here. And again, guys, patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. And that's, everything's uncensored, unedited over there, all the streams and just the archives of the pods and everything, as well as like bonus content and stuff like that. So just consider checking it out, or just hit the like button, retweet, whatever. Appreciate you guys. So ladies and gentlemen, all together in chat, all at the same time, Ichi ni Sanda. We got a lot to get to tonight. Ichi ni Sanda. It is AEW news. And of course, the best guys. Tony Khan. So AEW Dynamite presents Dynamite. AEW presents Dynamite. In Orlando, Florida, they sold 3,400 tickets for this. This is like a while ago, I think. Yeah, a few days ago. So I'm sure they sold more. I bet they did the 4,300. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt with comps and all that. Last time they were there, though, 5,000. So again, in 26, your boy Phil wants to go, hey, that's a decent house for AEW. That's a decent house for them. Good for them. But last time they were there, they did even better. And provided it's only like 1,000 tickets, let's say, or 1,500 tickets, just rounding high and low. And I mean, when you look at that, you're like, well, goddamn. And then you see the TV rating and everything. So again, it's not a dog pile. I want to put you guys over with comps and everything. I bet they did over 4,000 people in the building. But again, a half empty building. There's 8,000 seats on the map, and the pay-per-view even did 7,000. So they did a Dynamite 3 years ago or so, or 2 and some, and then they did 5,700. And then they did a pay-per-view there a year later, did 7,000. Now they're here for a Dynamite, 3,400. Perhaps it's above 4,000, but again, it's like just a little bit less people every time. And that's what's happened year over year with AEW. And now all of this Netflix WB stuff. The Hollywood Reporter wrote this report. We're going to dive in all that. But first, contract news and wrestler news and attendance and ratings news and whatnot. Thunder Rosa confirmed she's back on the road with AEW after her injury hiatus. Zeta Steel is officially All Elite. So she got the graphic. Last week, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight and Hangman became the trios champions for some reason. They just get trioed together, and instead of being the company that's like, yeah, we're going to fucking establish trios and factions are going to get in the mix with this, you're the company that just sticks. Instead of, oh, here's 2 random wrestlers, here's a tag team with a random singles guy every time. Every single time, man. And I know that that's unavoidable but still. So Collision, if in a few days, well, actually, this show's canceled. So let's talk about that. This show had 1,100 tickets sold. It's set up for 1,300. But it's actually canceled due to bad weather, and they're taping Collision tonight. So due to impeding weather conditions on the region, the AEW Collision Live, originally scheduled for this Saturday at the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it's been canceled. Impacted fans will receive an impact. We're co-opting that name. Fans will receive an email with instructions for a refund within the next 24 to 48 hours. You guys ever see that show 24? With Kiefer Sutherland. This week's AEW Collision broadcast will now be taped tonight in Orlando, Florida, after the conclusion of Dynamite, and will air this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT and streaming on HBO Max. So they had to refund people and shit. I mean, that's like a weather thing. That's not really an L on Tone, and it's just like 1,000 tickets. Like, he was taking a hit on that show anyways. Speaking of contracts and whatnot, as per the latest reports, AEW has booked Edge's retirement match for Wrestle Dream 26. His AEW, when is Wrestle Dream 26? Wrestle Dream, it's like September, right? Or October? October, yeah. So, yeah, and it's set to expire in October. So, again, how many times go back in time in PWT, like for years now, I feel like at this point. And I've been saying when Edge's shit was going to be up, and I was saying September, and it's fucking October that his deal's supposed to be up. Like, come on, man. And my only thing recently was like, okay, did Tone freeze him for that, like 7 months or whatever he was off, maybe even longer when he broke his leg? But as Husey brought to the show, allegedly, as well, he was saying that guys like Edge and them were like fucking looking
allegedly,
like, you know, and I'm sure fucking they talked about this on K100, but people were making sure, going over their contracts, making sure they couldn't get frozen and stuff after that Ray Phoenix situation. So I don't know if that's all a coincidence that motherfuckers were saying that, then hey, then it's a coincidence. All the, you know, the truth is out there. It's all up to you to determine, but it's pretty funny. So with Wrestle Dream, it's scheduled for Toronto. Edge openly admitted he doesn't have much longer left. He's going to go back to the Fed in the ring, and a defining era in professional wrestling is expected to come to an end this October. And it's like a defining era in pro wrestling. They're going to pitch this like Cena's final match, but it's not really. Edge will go back to WWE, have one more banger, get a Saudi bag, you know, be a part of one of these insane WrestleManias. Everybody's going to do it because you want a piece of that business. Just like when Tone was the hot new guy in town throwing the millies around, everybody wanted a piece of it. It's all it is. These guys are working, and I don't blame them, and I like that Edge. It's good that Edge like went to AEW for a bit, did his thing, but it wasn't good for AEW. What did you get out of Edge's of investing those millions of dollars into Edge? Let's say Tone was giving him like $3 million a year with like 3 years and an option on one of those years, on the last year, let's say. What would did that pay off for Tone with Edge? And it's not even I'm not even hating on Edge. It's just the truth. Like, what did that do for him? And like, you had Edge and Christian reunite, they pile drive this dude's wife, and then he just dips out. Like, you can't. It's so bad. You got to book around that shit. If you're going to let people go to Hollywood, you got to book around that shit. Okay? Tone needs to study Unreal. You know, he just threw all these matches together on this Dynamite show because he didn't have shit, because he's been binging Unreal on Netflix. Oh man, so shout out Edge, but it's just so unfortunate how time and time again this keeps happening to Tone. So in other roster news, AEW announcer Jim Ross to miss Dynamite following an untimely fall. By God, King, he's broken in half. I quote tweeted this. I was like, pay this man to stay home. Pay this man to sit at home. If you love this man, you pay him to build an extension on his home, or in one of his rooms. He converts it to a green screen room. You set him up. You find someone local to him, nearby him, who's like a videographer who can just film content for him from his home. You're a billionaire. I thought this was the elite. Tony's got infinite bucks. Take care of Jim Ross. You don't need to fly him out. Have him do your fucking recap show on YouTube, or just cut vignettes, or do like via satellite interviews with guys, or whatever you got to do. But don't just pay this man to stay at his house. And maybe he wants to get out and about. He can do that on his terms. But it's like, this is the third time he's like had to cancel a show. Why is he going to a show when when he can't even win, knocks him over, and he fucking gets hurt? I'm just praying for Jim Ross. Please take care of Jim Ross, okay? And prayers up for Jim Ross. I hope he's doing good, and I hope he's okay. So Will Ospreay is scheduled to be backstage at AEW Dynamite in Orlando to start the early parts of getting checked by medical for a return already. Trying to come back, pushing it to the limit. I hope Bruv is okay. I hope he recovers well. I hope he wrestles smarter and leaves something for people. Just spread knowledge and information about what not to do to the next gen, and he can have bangers. Even Dave was saying it. Why? Because he's got to protect his guys. It's so funny because he goes, Ospreay would be so good even if he did way less. But then he shits on Seth for Seth is capable of doing all this stuff he doesn't do, the pre-programmed style in WWE. So people in WWE wrestle the style that Ospreay could do and still be so good. Then why is nobody good in WWE that does this shit? Even though Dave will say shit like that and then give it 5 stars or whatever. Ospreay's one of his 5-star merchants. Now Dave already admitted, Will, that he'll give you 5 stars without you doing crazy shit. He already admitted that. So just don't do the crazy shit anymore as much. Which, I mean, I think he's already well, no, I don't want to say that because he's done the diving. Didn't he do a suicide dive doomsday device out of the ring or whatever? Didn't Ospreay do that? Not long before he ended up dipping out because of his fucking neck. I just hope the guy's okay. And hopefully he comes back bigger and badder than ever. And I know he's always coping over Triple H, but take a note from Triple H's playbook and fucking come back all jacked up. Wearing like MJF tried to do it once with the jean jacket. What was that show called with that Stone Cold was on? Nash Bridges, and Stone Cold was dressed like Triple H when he returned at the Rumble. Oh man, so shout out Will Ospreay. Hopefully he comes back stronger than ever. In other roster news here, Kenny Omega posts, he's like, it's almost like looking in a mirror. And here's the new Street Fighter, Alex, the Big Apple Brawler. And I think Kenny Omega voiced him or something like that. And this is from the new Street Fighter game. And Kenny Omega's like, it's nothing, almost like looking in a mirror. And it's like, dude, they went and casted for the real movie and you weren't fucking in it. It comes to the Hollywood movie and they go to WWE guys for that. Just saying.
A lifetime ago that I was spending my time fighting.
No, so he doesn't voice him, obviously.
Sure. Round 1.
This guy's from New York. My time, I'm over here now. Yeah, so good for Omega if he has involvement in that or he cosplayed as that or some shit. I don't know. But the real movie has WWE superstars in it, man. I don't know what to tell you. So, Mystico was booed at a CMLL show after outrage when a fan asked him for a video and he replied with, "I can't because of copyright," in Spanish, being a complete dick. I'm surprised Dave didn't report this incident since it went viral in Mexico and now everyone is turning on him. And of course, Dave won't talk about this. He says that Bad Bunny's an ethnic celebrity when it comes to WWE, but then Dave Meltzer sees Bad Bunny hiding himself in a Mystico mask to watch Mystico front row, and he's got a little smirk on his face. And yes, CMLL's
the
hot
young
right now.
superstar, babyface, that former heel thing. So,
God damn. So here is, people turning on Mystico.
El público de la Arena Coliseo ya no quiere a Místico.
And he couldn't take a video with a fan because of copyright issues? What does that even mean? It's weird because let's say the promotion owns Mystico, then maybe I could see that. Like, for instance, I believe CMLL or AEW own the name Penta El Cero Miedo. Remember, that's what he went by in AEW? So when he went to WWE, he has to be just Penta, which I think I know he's been like Pentagon Jr., but these different feds own his different names. Maybe even Lucha Underground might have something to do with it. But on WWE Unreal, they ask all the wrestlers, like, what are the names you've gone by? And Penta explains what Penta El Cero Miedo means, but he doesn't list it as one of his names, even though we all remember he went by that recently. And there's a reason for that. So maybe he's like, no, I can't. Like, maybe he was for real and he got himself tied up in some bullshit ass contract, but that's just such an odd thing. Or he was just big timing some fan and fans are like, fuck you. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, because who says that? No, it's a copyright issue. What?
De verdad, no recuerdo algo semejante desde que tengo memoria.
They're booing his dives.
Es buen momento y oro.
Yeah, and those CMLL shows are doing great. And people jump in my comments and say, like, they're like, Phil, you gotta correct this. They sell tickets. They do sell tickets, but you can get them like super cheap or whatever. But I'm not trying to even undermine that. Like, even if, let's say, AEW or TNA was selling $20 tickets, the most expensive ticket was $60, and they were like doing WWE numbers as far as attendance every week, like Raw and SmackDown numbers as far as attendance every week, I would still put that over. I wouldn't be like, yeah, but look how much Raw and SmackDown are charging. I'd be like, dude, look how much wrestling's drawing. And clearly WWE, like Raw and SmackDown, is the premium fucking the tippy top, as it always will be. But like, I still am happy that CMLL's doing attendances like that. Even I don't care if people are in there free or not, you're still getting people to a building to enjoy some things. So I don't want to undermine that. Like, Dave would be correct in glazing that aspect of CMLL, but as that pertains and affects the entirety of the world of professional wrestling and where the majority of the fans lie, and the grand scheme of things, I think he just overblows it. But then again, he just ignores shit like this. If if one of these guys went to Mexico, let's say Santos Escobar, or like they tried Rey Mysterio in AAA at a Mexico show and they were booing him, Dave would be like, yeah, he's just not over. He'd come out with some like vastly blown out of proportion, like outside the realm of realistic reason why this guy's just hated and booed, and then it would blow up in his face. This happens. Dave doesn't even bring it up. Like, I only hear about CMLL shit from Dave. You'd think this would be him that I have bookmarked here. But no, he won't say shit about this unless he responds to this guy who called him out. I don't know. So in other roster news, and guys, I did a whole like 45-minute breakdown of why Trey Miguel's release is horseshit, and I'm just going to reiterate 2 points here. So Trey Miguel, and I'm not saying it has to do with fucking MJF, okay? I'm not saying like he directly was like, Tone, fire this guy, but I'm not saying that didn't happen or couldn't have happened, or it's not an amalgamation of multiple things and the scape. It seems to me like the excuse is WBD execs, and I'm going to prove why that's the excuse. And I proved it in the 45-minute video, but this stuff was sort of floating around and it just needs to be reiterated here. So Trey Miguel was shockingly released, and according to Cultaholic Wrestling here, actually this is courtesy of Fightful, AEW talent are reportedly frustrated by Trey Miguel's release from the company. People backstage within the company were frustrated due to the strong relationships the Rascals have with people in AEW. A number of AEW names believes that there has been standards applied to them that don't apply to other personalities across WBD shows and content. So that's a cop-out and a fucking lie. And I broke this down way more in depth, but I posted it here. Like, Tony Khan said this shit wouldn't happen just months ago. Tony Khan was doing interviews, and he said, and this is about Jay Briscoe. Pardon me. I choked when I saw Tony Schiavone's Mr. Bean suit, guys. Sorry, wait. So it's a good, it's a weird color of green. That's all I'm saying. So Jay Briscoe, who, I don't know, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Jay Briscoe said some shit like, I'd shoot gay people if they came around here or whatever, not to like bring it up, and RIP Jay Briscoe, and nothing but respect to the Briscoe. I'm a huge fan. And you know, I've gone off again. You can go back, listen to the videos of me going off about the Briscoes and this whole. I felt like it was an excuse with that too, because he apologized for that shit, and the Bucks and everyone else. Excalibur, the voice of your promotion, said way worse shit under the guise of it was in character. If you want to chalk up like people saying stuff, I don't fucking know. Whatever. Trey Miguel. Some guy was calling him, was being homophobic, quote unquote. And then Trey Miguel responded to the guy by being like, yeah, you're a closeted gay, ugly bitch, essentially, right? So, he's like, dude, I'm not gay. You're gay, dude. That's pretty much what it was you want to know how I know you're gay battle? And I broke this all down. So Jay Briscoe, I would say objectively kind of said some crazier shit than Trey Miguel. Is what it is. I think both is just an excuse. I think Tone's in control of this, and Tone admitted that he would be in control of this now. Now, maybe there's other factors at play, but just recently, Tony McCann said Jay had apologized for the comments multiple times over this year, but still wasn't allowed to appear on AEW TV. Khan said that wouldn't have been the case if WBD's current leadership were in charge back then. This was like not even 6 months ago, I want to say. And Tone says, I fought really hard to get Jay Briscoe on the show. There were multiple times where Mark and Jay Briscoe came to Dynamite and didn't do anything. And they just came and I brought them and I was trying to. I kept pulling moves. It was a different time. It was a different management. It wasn't Mr. Zaslav. I could have now literally gone to him. So now maybe because Netflix is buying shit out, which just goes to show you, people sitting there trying to pretend like, oh, well, Tone could just go to Zaz. Why didn't he just go to Zaslav with Trey Miguel? I don't know. And yeah, so basically, you know, if you guys go and watch that video I dropped, MJF, so Alicia Tout deleted a post after I posted it on a screen grab of it that was sent to me. And then I deleted it and bookmarked her original post to show on the show. And that's why I deleted the screenshot, because I'm like, I'll just do it from her Twitter so it doesn't seem like I'm trying to just be like a clout goblin over this shit. You know, I'm going to make a video on this and that'll be that. And then she deleted the post like a few days ago. And Trey Miguel's fired and shit. I don't know. It seems fishy to me. And I think it's fucked how, and we've seen this time and time again. It's fucked how, like, Andrade can smack people for real, smack them, and then get fired and rehired, even though he's still under WWE contract, and then fired and rehired again. You know, like, he can get away with all this shit. CM Punk bumps a table in front of Tone and people fear for their lives. A brawl can break out when the Bucks storm Punk's dressing room and people can get bit and chairs thrown at heads for shoot and no one fears for their life, but then CM Punk bumps a table and he instigates it, at least physically, and all of a sudden people were going to die and stuff. I think that's really bullshit how the Young Bucks have said crazy shit in the past, but then all of a sudden Zachary, I might have said Wentz earlier, I apologize, Trey Miguel, because Wentz had a controversy too, and it's like, well, he's in the fucking company. Are we just going based off, you know, like this is crazy. Excalibur, the voice of your promotion, has said crazy shit. Oh, it was in kayfabe. Okay. So this guy apologized for talking shit online to a troll. He already apologized for it a bunch of times in the past. Why is it so picky and choosy? And also, you know, Hughesy's come on this show and said a bunch of times, not to put it all on
allegedly,
Hughes, but like he's said it. Like MJF fucking freaked out about the Jeff Jarrett angle and changed that up. And he's freaked out on fucking Britt Baker. Where's Britt Baker? She breaks up with Adam Cole, who before this show started in the intro, we saw Adam Cole and Tone hugging like long lost brothers, dude. Fucking Adam Cole's hanging out in Tone's private bathroom and shit. And that's not even a joke. So I just think, and I've told you guys a bunch, like MJF does what he wants. So I don't think that this has nothing to do with it. I think that all I'm saying is this. The WBD shit is an excuse. Period, point blank. And I think there are people who call, because why else would Tone, again, and if it's not any of these things, that's fine, but we have to admit mass incompetence, gross incompetence on Tony's part. So he signs Andrade, no lawyers looked over his shit. No, he's still technically signed to WWE. Tony puts pen to paper. Like, you mean to tell me he signed this guy, then all of a sudden WBD went, who are one of these rascal fellas? My favorite's Alfalfa, and then sent like a dossier to Tony Khan's desk saying like, oh, this guy's canceled? I don't know. Your boy Phil's got skeptical hippo eyes on that. You know what I mean? I don't really believe that. I don't really believe that shit. I don't think that's the reason all of this went down. So, yeah, I'm calling it out. And speaking of MJF, and I break it down way further and add way more stories and motive and flesh everything out in that clip I uploaded. So make sure you guys check that out. It's on the channel, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. And I go way more in depth. That was just a little quick summation of what I ranted about previously with the update of, because I don't think I showed that, like Tone, or maybe I did, but it's like Tone completely is now blaming something. He tried to flex that, oh, I could have got Jay Briscoe on TV now, and then all of a sudden Zachary Wentz is gone and he just blames it on WBD again. I don't buy it. So speaking of MJF, we talked about him a bit. He's in the ring right now cutting a promo against Brody King. And MJF had this to say. Here's what saddens me. There is the big promotion that loves to talk about how much they want to cultivate their young talent, but everyone on the top of their card is not young. Yeah, and then MJF is like Mysterio, Breaker listed himself, Takeshita, Statlander, Hook, Willow, Nightingale, Fletcher, Kevin Knight, Bandito, Darby Allin, Lee Johnson, Blake Christian. Bro, no, none of those people, I'm sorry, are stars comparatively to a Braun Breaker or whatever the fuck. You know, Joe is just their champion. I know MJF's working, but it's like he should be on his knees thanking God for the New Day. No, thanking God for there to be, for WWE creating an environment where there will be a slew of pro wrestlers in 10 years that were trained properly for MJF to make money with and wrestle with. 10 years down the road, he will be thanking God that WWE has invested so much time and energy in developing people properly. And you can see Tony values it, or why the fuck is he scooping up Zeta Steel and shit? Like, why would you scoop her up and start featuring her on your shows and everything? She's all over ROH, Collision. I think she even popped up on Dynamite. Why? Why would that be the case? Because she was WWE ID'd, let alone NXT'd, let alone Raw or SmackDown. So speaking of MJF, he got into a shoving match with a fan. And he's like, hop the guardrail, Big Hebrew is ready. He's funny as fuck. That is funny as fuck. But yeah, he got into a shoving match with this fan, which is pretty wild.
Where's the mic? I'll beat everybody's ass in this arena. I'll beat everybody's ass in this arena. I'll beat everybody's ass.
Yeah, so getting heat, an old school guy. I mean, MJF, I would say, is the one star from AEW. But, like, the one star that was, like, made there. But he would have been, it's just, he's such an outlier. I think he'd have been a star and will be a star anywhere he goes. Like, he was already making waves in MLW and shit like that. Like, people were talking about things he was doing. So I just think he's obviously going to get over anywhere. Or like Toni Storm. Okay, they were already pushing her as like a top girl. She was wrestling like Charlotte and shit, wasn't she? So she was already like perceived as a top girl, but yeah, she's gone to AEW and shown that she has so much more to offer. Like, she has the craziest, kookiest character in all of wrestling, and it's the most out there character that's like that. Her wrestling ability, she can tie it all together and cut a promo, and it's still funny. I mean, some people say it's played out, but she's committed to it the way like an R-Truth has. It's not all comedy either. Like, she's a serious threat in the ring, which is good that she's been able to balance both those things. So I'd say she's increased her value since going to AEW, but she'd have been a star in WWE too. So it's hard to say like who is AEW really made. Like, Kenny Omega was made in New Japan and shit. The Bucks were made in New Japan and all that stuff. They were already in Hot Topic. They were made doing their thing. Obviously, Cody Rhodes advanced himself greatly because of AEW as well, but he would have eventually found his way back to the Fed, whether AEW existed or not. Everybody knew that. People were calling for it when he was doing like the Ring of Honor stuff. They're like, that's the most WWE shit to do on the indies, and he makes it work. You know, he's going back to WWE. People were already talking about it once he started making moves in like Impact and ROH and all this shit. So yeah, I just think that MJF should be thanking God for developmental, because he might end up in, look how good Ricky Saints and Ethan Page are, and they're in NXT. MJF, you might end up in NXT, buddy. So, no, he's in like movies and shit, so they wouldn't do that. They'd put him main roster right away. Because he can work and he can cut a promo. Like you could trust him out there on live TV already. And he wouldn't just, well, maybe he would. Maybe he'd get cooked so bad by Punk that he'd fall back on like, yeah, well, you're a dick sucker, fatty, you know? Maybe that would happen to MJF. Who knows? I'd love to see him in the WWE one day. The real test. So speaking of tests, this is test boom. Wow. The big boot is a great wrestling move. I also like the test drive, the spinning test ruled. So in AEW news here and Netflix, Max, HBO Max, all that stuff. So following the close of the Netflix WB deal, AEW rights will ostensibly remain with Discovery. And this is according to the Hollywood Reporter. They dropped this article talking about all this shit. And we're going to break it down here a little bit. So AEW will remain with Discovery, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Now, they could get some of this right, some of this wrong. This whole report could be bullshit. We don't know, but this is at least people who don't have a vested interest in the wrestling wars, man. The IWC wars. Like, they're just talking about the entertainment business. Okay? And they're answering a question that it's probably a slow news week. So they're like, oh, we could talk about this wrestling side of things here. There's a lot of people talking about this. So, yeah, following the close of the Netflix WB deal, AEW rights will ostensibly remain with Discovery. So it's with Discovery. TNT, TBS, bye-bye. So the TBS title, TNT title, bye-bye. Those are becoming television titles. I would just get rid of them both. And Tony Khan is going to have to really figure out how to rebrand some shit or what he's going to do. Like, he's just going to get rid of those belts or have someone fight for it on the last night that it's on TNT or whatever the fuck. But pretty much that's out the window, which was like the main fear for everyone. So, though the league's weekly episodes and pay-per-views, PLEs, are expected to continue streaming on HBO Max throughout the remainder of AEW's current contract. So they've got it written in the contract, allegedly, according to THR, that no matter what happens, like, so they must have had it written in the contract, like, even if we sell whatever, we're on Max through the rest of whatever the fuck. Now, I find it hard to believe that Netflix will keep HBO Max or Max Plus or whatever the fuck. I think there will be a section on Netflix called HBO. And there'll be a section called DC. You know? And then that's it. And you go there for all the new HBO / old HBO shit. And if they even make new quote unquote HBO shit. And you'll go there and then there'll just be like a DC Heroes collection, you know? That's what will happen. It's going to look more like Disney Plus. It's not going to look like, it's not going to look like how it does now, and it's not going to be just like HBO Max for a while. Sorry, I'm watching Joe beat a motherfucker, Joey Headknocker. Okay. So that's not necessarily unexpected, but it is confirmation. So there's confirmation right there. The AEW TV deal is tied to the basic cable channels TNT and TBS, which expires at the end of 27 or 28, depending on what becomes of the contract's fourth-year option. Do you think they pick up the option? Probably not. At that time, AEW programming is likely to leave HBO Max and join the upcoming Turner Sports streaming app. So is So someone's saying in chat that TNT TBS is part of Discovery Global. So is TNT and TBS part of Discovery Global? Let's look this up. Yes, it is. Specifically under its Global Linear Networks division, which houses CNN, HGTV, Cartoon Network. Current structure before split. TNT, TBS, CNN. Okay, so those are all, they all fall under WBD Global. Okay, so here's the thing, though, and this is what Hollywood Reporter talked about, because that's what I thought, too. So let's read this. Complicating matters further. And this is an excerpt right from THR. AEW is not technically on the sports side of the WBD business, though. So maybe I'm off on all this, but it has always been considered a piece of WBD's entertainment division, save its PR servicing, which is handled by Turner's sports communications team. I could probably pen 519 pages on that whole thing. So I don't know. I'm too much of a dumbass, but are they going to stay on TBS TNT at least until the end of the thing? And they'll be on HBO and all of that. But after 27 and then maybe 28 if the year gets picked up, why would Netflix? Wouldn't that be whose decision would that be then? Would that be Would that be the Discovery side, or would that be the WB side that Netflix then owns? This is what I'm saying. It's such a mess. And I think after 27, bye-bye TBS, bye-bye TNT, bye-bye HBO Max. Where do you go? Amazon? Some people are explaining how that can't happen now. There's no real option even in that regard either, because of whatever people can block shit or whatever. So I don't know. Netflix might block that. Hey, we'll get Nicolo Piccolo on to break the shit down. I don't know, man. So should Netflix integrate HBO Max into its own service, it may not even be able to carry AEW programming. This was in THR as well. You guys know what I'm saying? So, though unconfirmed, it's believed WWE's parent company, TKO Incorporated, a non-compete clause with its deal with Netflix. So, yeah, this, I don't know. This is messy. So, at this time, AEW, at that time, 27 or 28, AEW is likely to leave HBO Max and join the upcoming. Okay, yeah, we read that. So though WBD and AEW will never say this aloud because at a less than 10% stake, they don't legally have to, WBD owns a minority position in All Elite Wrestling. So Netflix buys it. They still own a so WBD, so that all, does the ownership of the less than 10% go with the Discovery side? Or does Netflix own that chunk? How is this deal worked out? AEW is more of it's not like this huge deal, but it will be a point of, if they don't already have it worked out, they're going to have to work that out. And let's say Netflix owns the 10% and then they have a non-compete. And so they just sell it. Who buys it? Tony just buys it back? Or they keep it so they make money off AEW while sending it to some shit, while selling rights or helping them negotiate. What do they do? It's all so confusing to me. But it's so interesting to see. Like, people are saying that the doom and gloomers were wrong, but it seems like they may have been more right. And it's so funny how this whole time AEW is like this thing, the ugly duckling, where everyone, it's like the kid in gym class. It's like, you take him. No, you take him. I'll take the janitor over this kid. So it's interesting, man. And so things are complicated. This person here should write these 519 pages on this whole thing. AEW is currently in WBD, and this is how Tone doesn't know what the fuck is going on. They compartmentalize. See, they bought in. This is how it has to be working. WBD bought in, compartmentalized shit, keep Tone in the dark, and peel off the top. As long as he sends them their 5 or 10% from every gate, from every fucking pay-per-view sale, from every whatever. If who knows how they have this deal structured to have invested? Yeah, Wolffoot upwards 185 million, but it's all private and it might not even be that much. And Tone will just invest what we don't invest, and we can just keep it off the books because nobody can look into this shit anyways. It would be awesome if all this shit came out. I think WBD's been peeling off the top the whole time, and that's the only reason this shit has stayed around as long as it has. Or not even that. Like, I could see it being on where it's been for 6 or 7 years, but this second TV deal they signed, they got to be licking their wounds. And speaking of licking their wounds, here is Tony Khan filmed on a potato. Okay, somebody fucking, this is a stop motion video drawn with Etch-a-Sketch of Tone McCon. He was live, and we're on Tony Khan. Wowcha. I'm not a shark. I'm a man. For 2 says, you love Dancy Prancin, Mamby Pamby, Rhodey James. Oh, you're talking about the Road Dog. Yeah, I loved DX, man. I was a big DX fan. We're going to talk about Unreal in a bit. Thanks for the super chat. Guys, you can super chat in. There is like 150 watching on YouTube. Am I off on that? Last time I looked. Let's run those likes up to 100. YouTube.com/@ProWrestleClips. Even you hate watching motherfuckers, run those likes up. You guys can super chat in. Become a member for 99 cents. I do bonus shows. They're the funnest time. Appreciate you guys. So let's get into the best guys, Tony Khan here. He has range. And 12 minutes of Tony Khan cringe here.
Great to see you. Hello, everybody. It's a Wednesday night, and I cannot.
This is a painting I did in the 3rd grade. I laminated it. I won the 3rd grade art fair. And I framed it, and it's my dad's favorite, and it's great.
Not wait. Wednesday Night Dynamite. It starts very.
We're auctioning this off to the guy who got his face ripped off fighting that girl over merch at Dynamite the other week.
Very soon, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
It's crazy that people give Triple H shit for like coming out and they're like, oh, he's just talking out of his ass. Yeah, he's just doing the promoter thing, putting his shit over. He's just doing the Dana White, just not as flagrant, because Triple H spent years being a flagrant character in the ring. So now he's more chill, and he has to be more chill because he has fucking heart problems. And then Tone, nobody roasts Tone other than PWT, roasts Tone for coming in this like weird dressing room, literally filmed on like, what did you film this in? One of those flip razor phones? What did you use to film this shit? And nobody gives him shit for doing this, and not even addressing the release of Trey Miguel. Again, AEW Real Wrestling, the WWE's the show for kids. Meanwhile, people get really injured or kayfabe injured. They talk about it. People's deals come up. They work it into angles. They address it on TV. They get asked about it at the press conferences. Things like this. Tony Khan just secretly removes Trey Miguel for no fucking reason after they all announced they're coming in, and he put pen to paper. And just out of nowhere, he goes back on his word with the WB execs. Who's going to ask him about this? At the next pay-per-view press conference at 2 a.m. when Tone shows up, you motherfuckers need to ask him this question and say, Phil Marks from Pro Wrestle Times put together a great video. Did MJF have anything to do with this? You don't even have to ask that part. But it's like, what happened, Tone? Like, you let Andrade come in. He's still signed to WWE. You let Trey Miguel come in, and then you cancel him after saying that wouldn't happen for the one-to-one similar Jay Briscoe situation, which you could argue is even worse. Tone, what do you have to say? Explain this. And he would just be like, it's great, Wrestle Dream was great. And the Royal Rumble's great. I mean, no, I'm not watching that. Yeah, so the Casino Gauntlet, guess what, guys? A Casino Gauntlet next week. Yeah, that'll take your minds off it. It's great. He would just be like, well, things are great, and Wrestle Dream is great, and the pay-per-view buys are great. I think things are great. They're really great. Thank you. Like, what is the explanation? How does he not get roasted and got answer for this? The way people go under Triple H's shit and spurg out anytime they post him doing anything.
On TBS and HBO Max, we're going live very soon here in Orlando. Of course, we also have a great AEW Collision planned for this Saturday. Because of some circumstances around Texas, specifically Arlington, Texas, where there's a very serious weather situation, and we all take it very seriously this weekend. It's a state of emergency coming up in Texas this Wednesday night.
Oh my God! It's a state of emergency, like it's the name of the pay-per-view. Like it's AEW Collision, state of emergency. Bro, say that there's a fucking, because of snowstorms, praying for everybody out there in Texas, Collision ain't fucking going down. We're going to tape it tonight. So if you came tonight, you're getting extra pro wrestling. For those in Texas, here's where you go to get a refund. We have a banging card. See you guys in a bit. Peace. Yeah, AEW Dynamite in an hour. See you guys. Peace. Whatever the fuck you do, dude. Just that's what it should be. So quickly, to the point. 38 seconds of it's a state of emergency, another great pay-per-view from 1996 in the ECW arena. I was there and I wrote to Dave about it.
It's going to be a big night for Dynamite, but also for the fans here in Orlando. You're in for a treat, and we're going to make the best of it for this Saturday. I do not feel good about potentially bringing in a whole crew to do a show Saturday where there's a state of emergency and devoting resources that could be best used elsewhere. And also, I want to put a great Collision on Saturday and be able to focus on it. And this is where the AEW team is so fantastic. We are going to shoot AEW Collision tonight in Orlando. If you bought the ticket for tonight, you're in for a treat because some of the top stars in AEW are also going to wrestle after Dynamite on Collision. We've got a great Wednesday night Dynamite. The show is absolutely stacked with the top stars tonight. Huge matches coming up on Wednesday night Dynamite.
So yeah, everybody you pop for throughout Dynamite, get ready to pop twice for 2 FTR entrances. Because they have to wrestle again because they're in town and no one else is in town. It's great.
And it's just minutes away, live on TV.
We're based out of Florida. We have 600 people on the fucking roster, and buckle in because you're going to see everyone wrestle twice tonight. Isn't it great? Oh, shit,
yes,
man.
And HBO Max at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. You do not want to miss this show. Tonight's Dynamite is absolutely stacked. If you bought a ticket here in Orlando, or if you're at home watching on TBS or HBO Max tonight, you'll definitely want to see this show. We have such a huge lineup, great world championship wrestlers and high stakes matches. Of course,
World Championship wrestlers. That's gimmick infringement, pal.
The world champion MJF is in
WCW. I just call them WCWs now. Our wrestlers aren't called superstars. They're called WCWs.
House, and there's a lot of great challengers chasing the championship. The former champion, Samoa Joe, the former world champion, also a former World Trios champion, will be taking on the new World Trios champion co-holder, Speedball Bailey, one-on-one. And I cannot wait to see that match. Samoa Joe absolutely livid. Speedball Bailey red hot. That's going to be a great match. Of course, speaking of the great world champions.
Yeah, everyone's pumped to see the guy you just crowned as a Trios champion who was in a tag team and then wins the Trios title out of nowhere. Yeah, everyone was clamoring to see him in a singles against fucking It's the worst booking.
I cannot wait for 1/3 of the World Trios Champion.
Doesn't even make sense for the show.
The Jet, Kevin Knight, taking on the former World Champion, Swerve
And
Strickland.
then he keeps doing, he's going the Jet and the fucking, and Speedball Bailey and shit. Now he's not even saying their full names. He's like short.
Tonight, of course, Kenny Omega coming for revenge for his friend Kota Ibushi, who had his leg broken by Josh Alexander. Can't wait for Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander one-on-one tonight. Speaking of the Don Callis family,
And again, Alexander versus Omega, it's like, all right, they had a banger. Didn't they have a banger in TNA? And then you're just going to do this match that was already done great. Chelsea Green said it on WWE Unreal. He's like, me and Penta had this match in Lucha Underground, and it was the shit. And everyone's like, you guys should redo this match. Like, when are we going to get to see it again? And she's like, probably never. She's like, it was perfect. Why would you can't replicate it, so just let people live with that thing. Tone is like, oh, you guys saw Okada and Omega in Nudes, right? Fucking, we're gonna do it here, dude. Oh yeah, it's so great. It's magical and wonderful. This fairy tale, it's like Disney. Oh, this fairy tale, The Little Mermaid, we're just gonna fucking make it our own thing and say we invented it. Now we own The Little Mermaid, bitch. It's just so funny, dude. Pocahontas, based on real events, allegedly. We own that shit. It's great. Haha.
Lance Archer, Rocky Romero taking on the Death Riders, John Moxley, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta tonight in a street fight. And speaking of wild matches, I can't wait for the returning Penelope Ford, making her return long awaited to Dynamite after stepping back in the ring on Collision for the first time in months, teaming with Megan Bayne. Tonight, Penelope and Megan Bayne team up against the Timeless Love Bombs, Mina Shirakawa and Timeless Toni Storm. There's so much to look forward to. And speaking of the great tag teams, I can't wait to see the World Tag Team Champions, FTR, take on Jordan Oliver and Alec Price, who are a very promising young team. Of course, FTR next Wednesday will be defending the World Tag Team Championship against Davis and Doyle, but they should not.
So it's so dumb because after one tag match, maybe two, like maybe I didn't see one on Collision, Davis and Doyle are just first in line. And then also it's like, why are some matches title eliminators and some aren't? Like, why does Mox go out there and defend his title without defending it in title eliminator open challenges, but then FTR are just in a random tag match where they're not defending their title, but it's not a title eliminator against these two guys? It's just the worst, most inconsistent booking of all time.
Not look past this rising young squad of Price and Oliver. We're really excited about this great Dynamite. This is a stacked show. There's so much to look forward to. We also have, coming off of this Saturday's Collision, we heard a challenge put out from Chris Statlander to Tekla of the Triangle of Madness. Tekla scored the win last Wednesday night over Chris Statlander, the world champion. So we'll hear from the Triangle of Madness tonight in response to Chris Statlander. A lot to look forward to, but if you're in Orlando, we'd love for you to stick around. We're going to be filming as a result of the changes this weekend's AEW Collision tonight.
I'm like, why your personal fucking Twitter? You should make a quick statement the way Aldis would about SmackDown. You just do it and then put it out on the AEW channel. But he goes live. Like, why does he always go back to shit that doesn't work? I don't even know. We're only 4 minutes in. I just don't know how much we can listen to.
This Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be a bit of a time cop situation.
He goes, oh, time cop. That's why we listen right there. It's a time cop situation. He's literally doing the bit. He's literally doing my bit. How many people have to literally do my bit in fucking pro wrestling? They become what I fucking make fun of them as. It's fucking hilarious. And Tone goes, it's a time cop situation. Hilarious. But also it's like, he goes, tonight at this time, whatever, 8/7 Eastern. Bro, yeah, you're fucking live right now. You just said if people are in Orlando, they know what their local time is. You just said if you're in Orlando, then you said the times of like this time Eastern, 7 Central, whatever the fuck. Jesus Christ.
Champion. So we'll hear from the Triangle of Madness tonight in response to Chris Statlander. A lot to look forward to, but if you're in Orlando, we'd love for you to stick around. We're going to be filming as a result of the changes this weekend's AEW Collision tonight. It'll be this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be a bit of a time cop situation. If you're here in Orlando, you'll be at the show tonight, and you'll also be able to watch yourself this Saturday on TNT at 8 o'clock or on HBO Max at 8 o'clock. You'll be in two places at the same time. It's like
Time Cop. He has to end it by going, Time Cop.
a lot like my favorite movie,
Time Cop.
Time Cop.
No. It's like he rehearsed that shit in front of a mirror.
And I cannot wait for this. It's going to be a great show. We've announced a CMLL.
I can't believe he just did that. Like in front of the live crowd, and he's on like an unhinged rant, and then you say some shit like, it'll be a lot like my favorite movie, Time Cop. Like, that's just a funny thing that happened in a live speech. Like when that politician was like, yeah, you guys remember that? That was years ago. And then everyone's like, we're not voting for this goof. It was like, it's a moment like that, but he just does it in private. It's like a video he's proud of. I wonder if he's seen like the sicko for the sickos PWT mix, dude.
Championship match, and that's on for this Saturday night. We're going to film it tonight in Orlando. I can't wait. It's going to be the CMLL heavyweight champion, Claudio Castagnoli, CMLL's world heavyweight champion, defending against a top AEW star, Roderick Strong, who went down to Mexico.
A little knee bend, buddy.
And went to CMLL and earned this match. CMLL came to me. They were very excited to bring Roderick Strong. So it was very much something CMLL was excited to have Roderick Strong, a top AEW star, coming down to Mexico. And I was very excited about that and him making his CMLL debut and earning a shot at Claudio Castagnoli. And Roderick Strong picked up the big win over Claudio in the Continental Classic last month. It was a classic episode, in my opinion. One of my favorite shows, the Christmas Collision show. And
that we never got ratings for because 0 people watched it. Literally. It was one of the best ever. This is the carniest shit of all time, and people eat this up. Tone's the man. So Roddy Strong, an AEW guy, goes to CMLL. Tone calls him a top star, even though, what does that mean? So that's what you consider a top star in your fucking company? Or was he a star in another company and you just go, he's a top star here? Even though he just wrestles on Collision and shit. And he goes there, earns a shot at Claudio's CMLL title in AEW, and AEW fans are supposed to care about that because it's the CMLL title, even though Claudio is just a background. He's a backup dancer for Mox 99% of the time on your show. Have the match in Mexico. The fuck?
It's very fitting that on this Collision episode this Saturday that we'll have Claudio versus Roderick Strong for the CMLL title. Now, I had announced that Mark Briscoe was going to wrestle El Clone this Saturday at AEW Collision. And due to the travel restrictions and due to some of the things coming in this weekend, I just want to be safe with a state of emergency. I'm going to move that match as part of the changes to Wednesday night in Austin, Texas. And then when we return...
Literally nobody cares, Tony. Nobody fucking cares.
Return to Arlington, Texas next Saturday. I want to make sure the fans get a fantastic show. So the winner of El Clone versus Mark Briscoe this Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday on Dynamite.
So I don't want to do a whole tournament. So here's like a mini tournament. Okay, it's great. Trust me, it's great booking. I don't just do the same 4 things. This is like a mini tournament. Not a full one.
Dynamite. The winner of El Clone versus Mark Briscoe will defend the championship next Saturday on TNT on Collision. Now, this Saturday on Collision, the Don Callis family will be very well represented. Andrade El Idolo made his long-awaited return to the ring last Saturday. Andrade El Idolo will be competing this Saturday on Collision against a top CMLL star who's coming up here, and that is Magnus. I really am a big fan of Magnus. We've had him compete in AEW before, and Magnus is coming up to challenge Andrade El Idolo.
Magnus, wasn't that fucking Nick Aldis's old name? Magnus TNA. Yeah, that's Nick Aldis. So Magnus, the other wrestler, Magnus wrestler, CMLL. So he wears kind of like a Sin Cara mask, and he wrestles for CMLL, but his name's Magnus. And I'm not hating, but it's like, damn, dude, when you type Magnus in, Nick Aldis comes up, you know?
Who picked up a great win over on Helico last week, one of AEW's exciting stars and a top Lucha Libre practitioner. And now we have Magnus from CMLL coming up to challenge Andrade El Idolo tonight. Very excited. So again, with El Clone versus Mark Briscoe moving to Wednesday night, next Wednesday on Dynamite, this Saturday we'll have Andrade El Idolo of the Don Callis family wrestling Magnus, and that's going to be shot here in Orlando tonight. So all of our ticket buyers tonight are going to get quite a treat, 2 for 1, as a result of some of the changes. And again, I feel good about this. I don't want to bring a crew of wrestlers.
Yeah, dude, you said that. Fuck.
The whole staff and truck everybody in when there's a state of emergency, and I think all the resources should be devoted to that. And we'll put on great shows in Texas next week with Wednesday night.
All the resources should be devoted to what? Helping them fucking snowplow people out of fucking dangerous situation. What are you talking about? He's acting like he's doing some like humanitarian favor. You know, he's saving the world by not fucking doing this show in Texas. It's like, yeah, you canceled a show. It was an esports arena. There's 1,000 people who are going to go. It's not a big deal.
Around Austin area and Cedar Park, Texas, and then going back to Arlington for the final show of the residency on the 31st. Also, the Don Callis family, again, will be very well represented on this show. I mentioned Andrade El Idolo versus Magnus. Next Wednesday in Austin, it will be FTR versus Mark Davis and Jake Doyle. And Davis and Doyle will be in action this Saturday ahead of their match with FTR next Wednesday.
So wait, they're fighting on Saturday or Wednesday, Tony? It's like going he, she, he. So on Wednesday, after their match with FTR, they'll be in action tonight, which is Saturday, but not really today, because today is Wednesday, but on Saturday, which is today because Time Cop. Remember, I brought that up earlier. The fuck, man? Shut up.
Now, FTR
It's confusing. No one can retain this info. It's meaningless. Even your fans are like, what is this guy talking about?
The young team. And we have the team that we saw reunite on Collision last week. It was very good to see Proto Sheeta back together.
Oh my God. We have the team that got back together. You guys ready? Proto Sheeta. Even AEW fans are like, who?
Now, Proto Sheeta will also be on Collision this Saturday, competing as a team.
Proto Sheeta. What the fuck is Proto Sheeta?
It's very interesting. They challenged the Bang Bang Gang.
Holy fuck!
Because of the travel and all of everything happening.
Listen to him again. Because of the travel and everything I explained 3 times, and just to reiterate everything I explained, if you remember, there's a state of emergency and all the travel and all of our resources, and I'm a good guy. If you guys remember all that, just to remind you. Because of that, guy at the start of the video there's a bunch of travel troubles. These people can't make it. We have tremendous alternates. You don't want to miss tonight. Don't tell people who it is. Let it be somewhat of a surprise. Give people a fucking reason to watch the show. Holy shit, buddy.
With the weather,
this company's cooked, and you haven't even talked about your 3rd grade painting. Imagine you're the fucking poor young female intern holding the camera for this every time he does that.
Austin was unavailable, and Juice Robinson is out injured, even though he is here in Florida. So Austin Gunn is bringing in a very interesting partner to Wrestle Pro Toshida, and that is Billy Gunn, one of the top teams with a great record in AEW back in the Daily's Place days. Austin and Billy Gunn. A father and gun team. And
a father and gun team. Oh my God. Tone's so cute, dude.
They will take on Protoshita this Saturday on Collision. That's a great example of the AEW crew coming together and making sure we get a great Collision show. And again, everybody in Arlington will get a TNT title match. The winner of Mark Briscoe versus El Clone's Wednesday night Dynamite match next Wednesday will defend the championship in Arlington when we return next week.
And Billy Gunn will be there instead.
Also, I had announced on ROH that there would be Global Wars show working with Athena's Metroplex Wrestling. That Global Wars show will be filming that show next Saturday.
That Global Wars show will be filming that show. That show we're doing show. Well, it's the big show.
As well, given...
Say show again, Tone.
We'll be filming this Saturday's Collision show.
Yes! Yeah, he did it.
Here in Orlando. I'm really excited. In Orlando, it's going to be such a great crowd tonight. So they'll definitely get their money's worth because this is one of the best lineups we've had on Dynamite, I think, in a very long time, which is saying something with a great run of shows we've been on. And we'll have
great shows. They're all great shows.
Great AEW Collision. I really appreciate you all bearing with us. I think some things are very, very important, and safety is above all.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. See, he wouldn't need to keep saying it if that was real. He's trying to convince, he's gaslighting sickos, and he's trying to convince himself and control his own narrative. Hashtag EC3, which is all good. But the safety. Mox is shredded, bleeding. Now, people do barbed wire and thumbtacks, but it's like Mox dumped a guy on his head. Like one of your top rising young stars just recently, bro. You don't care about that shit. Even Dave Meltzer is like, Darby's going to like kill himself in Minecraft in AEW if he doesn't stop doing the shit he's doing. Look at Tone. We care about safety. I mean, those driving conditions.
The most important thing, and in this case, I feel really good about making these adjustments because I don't think it's the right thing to do to bring the fans or the crew into a potentially dangerous situation, given that it's going to be
God. Meanwhile, you literally at your pay-per-views put up warnings that say, by sitting in the front row, you agree that if any debris hits you and that there are safety risks and blah, 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 it's on you and we are not. You agree to this by sitting on the floor seats or whatever. That's what Tone, as we're watching people hitting each other with exploding kendo sticks or whatever, this is literally what he's sitting here saying. The complete opposite of that has been demonstrated, and you don't care because you tell fans that if they get hit in the eye with fucking shrapnel from Darby doing a grenade spot, oh well.
State of emergency declared in Texas on Saturday, and we are going to put a great Collision show on Saturday. Everyone will be able to watch it, and I can't wait for that. Thanks to the fans in Orlando. You're going to get a fantastic live event tonight, a Dynamite and a Collision. And again, Arlington, we're going to return next week with a tremendous show. Everybody who comes will have an excellent live Collision that'll finish the residency out on the 31st. And you'll also get the ROH Metroplex Global Wars event that was planned for this.
And you'll also get this. You also get this thing. Listen to his mentality. And you also get this. WWE people are scrambling, throwing ideas around. Yo, we got to swerve. We got to make something happen. And then what happens with this? Yo, this big event, we have to deliver. We have to deliver. We have to deliver. Seth, I put a lot of pressure on myself to deliver. That's what Seth Rollins saying. We have to deliver. The fans. Tone goes, you should be blessed. You should be blessed that jet speed's in your city. You get ROH, Metroplex Wrestling, whatever the fuck that is. You get this. You should be so lucky. You see the fucking difference in mentality and why one works and one doesn't. You see when Tone blames the fucking fans. When Tone blames the fans.
Poor people don't like AEW.
They just don't get this bad storyline. I booked with the Death Riders for 2 years, for a year and a half. They just don't get it. You get this, Metroplex Wrestling. Tone, we wanted AEW. Nobody asked you to buy ROH or to fucking team up with Metroplex. Like, it's just the difference. And these are the glaring ones to me that, again, it's hard for these motherfuckers to wrap their heads around it because they're all sickos. They're fucking sociopaths, man.
I really appreciate you all. We're only minutes away from Wednesday Night Dynamite. This is going to be a fantastic show. Thank you all.
This is almost done,
live
guys.
in Orlando or on TBS or HBO Max tonight. It starts very soon, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Thank you very much, everybody who's supporting AEW in 2026.
You're welcome, Tone.
2025 together, and we're going to have an even better 2026. And I can't wait to see you all minutes from now on TBS or HBO Max, or here live in the arena for Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Yeah, you're in the arena, in line, getting popcorn. And you're on your phone watching this asshole go, minutes from now, if you're here tonight. Like, oh, man. Well, that, ladies and germs, was AEW news. Ichi Nissan Da all together. It is time, or it was time, tonight, Time Cop, 8 p.m. Eastern. It was AEW news. And the best guy is...
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Tony McCann. So... let's get into some other news. And yeah, Dynamite, we just saw like a bullshit ass exploding. Fucking people are exploding. They're still trying to run with Garcia and Yuta. They're still running with Garcia and Yuta. Trying to make that a thing. It's like Mean Girls. Fetch is not a thing. Is that what it is? Fetch? That's so fetch. Fetch is not a thing. It'll never be a thing. Oh, boy. Okay, we got things to get. Speaking of things, I'm over here now. We got tons of things. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe, become a member, super chat in, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. Those are my plugs. In miscellaneous news, let's get over here. We got some stuff to get into. We got miscellaneous and TNA news up next. Then we're going to get into some WWE stuff and some sicko adjacent stuff. And also, if you guys like pop culture and whatnot, Phil Marks Out. That's my other channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Maybe some of it's good, Cole. But it is time for miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So, ladies and germs, JCW Lunacy are bringing in Chris Hansen. So, Anthony Maurizio says, popped huge when I saw that. Chris Hansen bought ad time. Oh, I guess he's not going to JCW, or maybe he is, but he bought ad time during JCW. For a commercial during JCW Lunacy, the man who cleans the trash from our streets, been a fan for years. It's funny. He's on his, like, he doesn't give a fuck tour. the last few years, like his To Catch a Predator thing got canceled because I think someone deleted themselves after being caught as a pedo on the show. And then he did these other deep dive things that kind of got him in trouble and kind of got, some people kind of turned on him, but he's made so much money over the years that, he's just promoting his shit and he's going directly to the juggalos to be like, watch my new show. We prank people dressed up like clowns. I'm Chris Hansen. South Park, why don't you have a seat right over there? Oh, man. So shout out JCW Lunacy, though. The stars are in the building. So speaking of the indies and whatnot, MLW Battle Riot, listening to the fans. You spoke, we listened. Due to the overwhelming response from MLW Nation, a major change has been made to our signature 40 wrestler extravaganza. The MLW World Heavyweight Championship will now be defended inside the Battle Riot. Listening to the fans, I will definitely be fucking checking this out. Or did it already go down? I don't know, but if it's on YouTube, upload it to YouTube MLW, and I will watch this shit. No, on the 29th. Yeah, so in about a week. And just over a week there. And so Mads Cruel Kruger, dude, Will Riot, and the fans were like, oh, we want, because I think last year, Matt Riddle, put the title on the line in the Battle Riot, and fans were, and then they were going to do Battle Riot. And then all the fans were like, dude, we want to see the belt on the line again. That's Battle Riot is key for that. And yeah, I hope Cruel just fucks everybody up. I want to see Cruel in the Fed one day. I think he could do good shit, but then you kind of remove his like death match element. Maybe he's too hardcore. But hey, as we saw in Unreal, they got fucking Chris Park Abyss running around. He'd know what to do with him. Speaking of deathmatch, guys, man, the deathmatch legend himself, Atsushi Onita, had a big scare recently. He awkwardly landed on his neck during the Hiroshima Pro Wrestling Festival this past weekend. Onita, who turned 69 in October. Oh my God, landed on his neck. And he attempted to pile drive his opponent through a table. Once he fell, he couldn't finish the match and was later hospitalized. It's since been revealed that Onita has suffered cervical vertebrae damage and should be out for at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks only? I'd be taking fucking years off if that was the case, dude. Hang it up. Shout out Onita, though, still doing the goddamn thing. So this spot, Priscilla Kelly, speaking of deathmatch stuff, she did this spot, and some sickos were coping over this. This one guy's like, this is what Fed stands will never understand. This is real wrestling. And it's like, no, this is phony baloney bullshit. The biggest problem with this goofy shit where people are really fucking themselves up, and I've said it 100 times on this show, said it a babillion times on this show. If you want to really fuck yourself up, go MMA fight. Go real American freestyle wrestle then. Don't pro wrestle. You know, this is like this is fake and phony. If you watched real fighting, you would know how fake and phony this is, and that's why it's offensive to people who do like real fighting and real graps. It's the phoniest shit ever, but they pretend it's real because this person's really hurting themselves. And what would Priscilla Kelly say? Oh, it didn't really hurt. No, fuck you. It's just stabbing somebody in pro wrestling, YouTube. Come on, girl. No, my belly piercing hurt worse. Who cares? The fuck does this prove? Who did this get over? More over? Atticus Kogar? Got more over doing this Mark shit? Like, what are you talking about? Get out of there! Doing the Moxley spot. This is real wrestling, man. Man. Anyone could do that. If a chimp stole your pocket knife, he could cut someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a fucking... And then there's nothing fake about that. You're really just getting stabbed a bunch in the head with toothpicks or whatever the fuck those are. The whole point of pro wrestling is we're putting our bodies on the line, but we're not fucking each other up while making it look like we're fucking each other up. That's literally the realness of pro wrestling. The realness is you could get dropped on your neck at any time. Okay? Fuck. So moving along here. Speaking of deathmatch guys, Joey Janela is doing his Boat Bash 2027. And he's announced some names. So the great Sasuke will be there. Some legends are in the house. I don't know why I said it like that. Some legends are there. The great Sasuke. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase's in the motherfucker. Gangrel will be there. And Busta and the Brain. Who? It's Busta and the Brain. It's Busta and the Brain. One's a simpleton, the other is a lame. So yeah, shout out the Boat Bash. I like that Joey Janela's hijacking that idea. And there will be a void to fill when Jericho does his cruise and it features like the WWE AAA NXT TNA guys. It'll mostly be NXT AAA TNA guys. But once that happens, or like people who've been ID'd and maybe like ROW and stuff like that. So once that's the case, it'll be interesting to see how that indie void gets filled. Because there is, I mean, I don't know. You could not pay me enough, I don't think, to get on at least Joey Janela's boat ride. Like Jericho's seemed pretty fun. But these cruises, man, I saw a couple bad cruise documentary, like 1 or 2 or 3 fucking there was a few of them, I feel like, in 25 of these bad, like the poop cruise, and then that girl who went missing, and then the fucking, I think some guy in the news recently like murdered his stepsister or something on a cruise. You wouldn't catch me dead on a fucking cruise. In 2026 or 2027. But yeah, there's a void to be filled, so he's going to do that. So speaking of void to be filled, here at PWT, we like to highlight and talk about some indie wrestlers, and this guy just went viral, I'm not going to lie. So it's not like we're discovering anything here, but it's not like Becca where I just start putting her over like crazy. But this dude, Ricky Sosa, and we have talked about him on the show. Bitches love Sosa. So here's Ricky Sosa in Paris. He made this entrance. This is the first time. Well, he'll explain it with Muscle Man Malcolm. And Ricky Sosa's got this entrance where it's akin to the Whoop That Trick, in essence, where it just caught on like wildfire. And the Sosa thing is kind of like, you know, bitches love Sosa, right? Like that's a thing kind of already. Same with Whoop That Trick. Everybody points out, they're like, well, it's the Memphis thing. Yeah, everyone fucking knows. But it applies to Trick Williams. Like it's his thing in wrestling, though, you know? So imagine you're these guys Tony brings in just to fucking lose. He signs you off the indies and you just get beat by FTR first match. Fucking trash. Speaking of the indies, but Ricky Sosa here, he's going viral for this entrance, and it's happened multiple times, and people are going crazy for this guy.
Mon cher Soura, il y a des choses qui sont inévitables aujourd'hui dans l'actualité du catch. Ricky Sosa a eu une année 2023 incroyable, un championnat prestigieux remporté en Allemagne et la signature d'un contrat pour un match de championnat WWE.
It's like a Yeet situation where, and he's been ID'd, I guess they're talking about WWE ID. And so here's him again, like he's at another show and they're going nuts for him. And that first one you saw, that was his first time doing that entrance like that, the way he did it. And it's just already catching on. I mean, you got, I don't know, it's hype. Like, I don't know, man. I think he's ID'd. You got something in the kid. He's got a great look too. And here's him speaking with Muscle Man Malcolm here, and shout him out. This is the Waffle House order guy. I like his content, man.
You have gone incredibly viral in the last, I guess, like month or so with your entry.
Yeah,
I mean, that alone has like made you this top star in independent wrestling right now. When did you realize, like, oh, I really have something here with this entrance?
It was, to be honest, it was the first time I used it. It was like 6-7 months ago. Yeah. So with the crowd here,
my only problem is, let's say he goes to NXT, Ricky Saints, Ricky Smokes, Ricky Sosa. You got too many.
It went viral, and then I realized like that it was something for me, like. And then we used the song again in December.
Bang, bang. Sosa, Sosa. Bang, bang. Sosa, Sosa.
That's a show that went viral with my entrance and stuff. And the crowd was into it. And I realized that this was something for me. I was like, damn, it's crazy.
2023 incroyable, un championnat prestigieux remporté en Allemagne.
2 weeks later.
And see, it just shows you, if I may point out, it goes to show you, like, okay, go out there and break your neck for Tony Khan. See how far you really get. Meanwhile, that kid right there, before he ever got in the Fed, he figured out, it's like R-Truth with people over there. What's up? He was doing that way before WWE. He was doing that in TNA and shit. You know? And like freestyling to the crowd and shit in a way, not like the John Cena battle rap. I'm a white boy, but my neck is red. That whole sort of all battle rappy with these like cheesy choke on these nuts, right? Like Truth was doing his thing, and like the dancing and all that. You see it on Unreal as well. They show him in Memphis. They show R-Truth all over, and it's like Truth had this thing down before he even really was at that level and got his long-term career. This guy's already got this entrance that WWE is going to look at that, and he's going to be able to parlay that. That's going to be leverage for him to control things like his music, his name. They might go, you know what, Ricky Smokes, you got to change your shit because we got Ricky Saints and Ricky Sosa's being Ricky Sosa. He's so over. Like, right? You don't fucking know. And he already has that at his advantage. And it just goes to show you, even at the indie level, that this is the type of shit that pays off more than like, oh, I can do a triple Salchow into a double split into a pile driver doomsday device off the ladder. You know, this just goes to show you right here.
I just received a lot of messages on Twitter. Everybody reposted it. I was like, shit, what's going on? And yeah, I'm here.
Hell yeah. So shout out Ricky Sosa. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news. Let's get into some TNA shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Guys, we got well over 200 watching. Make sure you run the likes up to 100 and super chat in. I'm spitting tonight. What are you guys doing? Chat, where we at? You guys want to, let's do TNA news next. Or is it fair to just keep, TNA's got a big full folder. Do we want TNA news? Well, I guess we did AEW news, so that went first. Okay, yeah, we'll do TNA. I just don't want to, it's like, okay, it's in the mix with AEW and WWE now. It could be later, but are we more interested in that than the Fed and the Unreal stuff? I think we're more interested in the Fed and the Unreal stuff, right? So, guys, patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. It is time for TNA news. Aces and eights, banjos and guitars and sitars in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So Genesis went down, and speaking of going down, Moose got legitimately hurt after a nasty bump. People think, anyways. But he was up there selling and everything,
Moose
so
is
I don't know.
Cornerstone. Happen. Oh, it's awkward.
And then they went through and finished the thing, but who knows? Hopefully he's not really hurt. There seemingly have been some injuries in WWE, and there is Mustafa Ali's toe. And yeah, for YouTube purposes, I'm just going to quickly unbookmark that one, but that was Mustafa Ali's toenail. So that had to fucking hurt. Nick Nemeth attempted to call his shot, but it failed. And Santana won as well. So they're really just putting him over. And I see big, big, big things for Mike Santana. I don't know. Is this even going to be a long TNA title run, or does WWE go, we want him? I'm curious. I am curious. So Genesis, a much better show than the Impact as well. They treated the Impact the wrong way, at least in my opinion. So yeah, Moose was seemingly hurt there. We saw that. JDC is now officially retired from pro wrestling on Impact tomorrow night, which I'll be watching. Impact on AMC. JDC will be announcing his replacement in the system. Now, people think it might be a younger guy or something like that. Other people think it might be a veteran. Nick Nemeth quote tweeted it, but how long was he in developmental and whatnot? So speaking of guys who kind of made a name for themselves since leaving AEW, such as Mike Santana, KJ Orso, formerly known as Fuego del Sol, he showed up at TNA at the pre-show for Genesis. So this was Fuego del Sol. And of course, Cody Rhodes would team with this guy, but KJ Orso. Which he's probably a good hand, but I don't think anyone really gives a fuck. I gotta be honest. And so speaking of contracts and whatnot, Daria Ray, Sonya Deville, says she signed a 6-month deal with TNA. Feels it can become long-term. She signed a 6-month deal. I'll tell you guys that, but I plan on seeing it through. I'm having a lot of fun. Everything's going great so far. And as long as it's a continuously mutually beneficial situation, meaning I'm adding value and I feel good about what I'm getting in return, then I don't see why it wouldn't continue long-term. So TNA, man, I would say lock people up for at least a year at a time. Or when is their next Bound for Glory? Like, have deals come up after that big show of the year, the WrestleMania show of the year. Don't just do 6 and 3 months and shit. Maybe in certain instances, but you don't want her to like get hot and have she was like the main thing everyone was praising from that Impact, and then she's just gone in 6 months because it's not amicable. Like, you got to figure that out. So speaking of figuring that out, so Cora Jade revealed she signed for a year and she's dating Casey Navarro, I guess. So this dude's winning at life right there. And but here's the thing, she's in TNA dating a TNA guy. And this is what motherfuckers worried about. They're like, dude, she got into relationship trouble in NXT and whatnot, as far as like dating situations with a few different people, and now like this is continuing a trend that we and then who knows? I'm not trying. I hope that everything works out for them. I really, really do. And I say Elena Black will be a good thing for TNA overall, bar no like Twitter tweets about people you work with and shit and each other's pussies and stuff like she was doing. You all know what I'm talking about. So Thirsty Thurston was super eager to get a number out, and then he royally botched. So what had happened was Thirsty Thurston and WrestleNomics dropped these numbers, and then they had to retract all this shit. And Thurston went above and beyond. They were deleting their tweets. He, like WrestleNomics and them, I don't know who's running all their shit. Tweets were deleted, and they were fucking rummaging through everyone talking about this number, and like Thurston was going under like Ringside News or PWI, whatever the fuck, PW Torch, all these wrestling things, and being like, I made a mistake, the actual correct number. And he tried to correct himself as quick as he could, but it's like, bro, if you just weren't so over eager to get this number out that you thought was like a swift blow to TNA and the Fed, because you know that's why he was all over this shit. Like, did anyone get AEW's Christmas number? No, because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. So nobody got AEW's Christmas show rating. I don't think Thurston and them sleuthed it out, right? Pardon me. Wait, one more's coming. Excuse me, it's chilly up north here down this road up, everybody. So Thirsty Thurston, though, man, he was overly eager to get this number out. And he botched. And 95K viewers, 0.04 in the 18 to 49. I think a third one's coming. Okay, there we go. So TNA Impact debut on AMC, the ratings, 95,000 viewers, 0.04 in the key demo. So I'm glad that Brandon was like, yo, I botched this. This was a fuck up, whatever. But how come the man is willing to get into lawsuits with fucking cities and buildings and shit over them? Pardon me, now I'm all stuffy. Over like them not disclosing attendance and for turnstile numbers and shit, but he was too eager to get this out. That's all this shows me, is he was too eager beaver. Yes, he owned it. That's fine. But it's like, Thurston, calm down. Everyone calm down. TNA's not going to do, and we know this. A bunch of motherfuckers were like, TNA might do 500,000. No. Collision numbers, okay? This is what all you could hope for, was collision numbers to start, okay? Now, over time, that might improve, as we've seen happen with TNA. That's what's happened wherever they've gone. Over time, they average higher than the average show averages on whatever network station, whatever the fuck they've been on over the last like 20 fucking years. So we're looking for that. And that's a W. So to me, I was hoping they'd crack 200. I would have been like, holy shit. But I figured it would be in the 100,000s personally. And we don't know how many watched on TNA Plus. TNA Plus and AMC crashed. That's what people said online. So, and a bunch of people in our chat live were like, TNA is crashing. They confirmed that. So who knows how many we're trying to watch on TNA Plus? Is it 100,000? I don't know. Is it more than Honor Club? Probably. That you probably then pay for Honor Club. It was probably more than that. So I don't know what numbers. I bet you over 200,000 people watched it. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, it was 500,000 like Dave would say about fucking AEW, but I'd guess like over 200,000 people were watching it live if you factor in TNA Plus and AMC, the AMC app or AMC Plus. Someone's got to explain to me what that is too. I don't know if we have access to that here, or if that's even a thing. But anyways, correction, WrestleNomics corrected it. Programming Insider doesn't show a total viewership. So you think like he would just know that about Programming Insider automatically. WrestleNomics. Yes, Brandon owned it. I will give him credit for that where it's due. But like, why was the mistake where he just jumped the gun to get this out? Why did he make that mistake? Because he got eager beaver. He should have known that already. The P2 plus number reported earlier is likely incorrect. Programming Insider only appears to has various demographic. Programming Insider only appears to has various demographic data available only at this time, not total viewers. What a poorly written sentence. Programming Insider only appears to has various demographic data available only at this time, comma, not total viewers. So he's just rushing to get this correction out too, bro. Take a breath. Take a sip, Thirsty Thurston. Take a goddamn sip of water. 95K is not the number for total viewers. It's like much higher. It's like much higher. 18 to 49 rating was 0.04, which suggests a few 100,000 viewers total. So good on him, but very eager beaver there. And the real number, PW Torch reports 173K total viewers, a 0.04 in the 18 to 49 key demo, which key demo. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. What does it all mean? The key demo's like, I just could care less. So look at the overall people watching it and maybe what the quarter hours average or like what shit the bed or whatever. But let's look up quickly because I'm curious. I'll go over here and ask Grok. It could be incorrect. So let's get into Grok here. So, yo, Grok. What? We're friends. We're pals, right? I'll talk to you like human. What was the TV ratings and key demo for the last AEW Collision show? So we'll see what the key demo was. For that, Grok will pull it up. So as of mid 26, January 10. So we'll go with the January 10 Collision, averaged 271K total viewers. This was up 12 to 13%. And then the key demo stayed at a 0.03. Is this accurate? That seems high. For them to do 200,000, weren't they just doing some of their lowest? Didn't they tie some of their lowest? And was it on after Dynamite? That's the problem. You don't know. But I'll give Grok his due and say, okay, it averaged 271, but then the key demo's less than TNA. So again, how do you who did better? Because Dave would say the key demo is better for AEW, which he's pulled this card. The key demo was better. If you knew anything about the business and Wagyu beef, Bryan, you'd know that AEW destroyed NXT because of the key demo. The infamous tweet, overall ratings matter, key demo matters. Okay, so this beat Collision in the key demo. So, like, I don't care about that shit, but Dave, you'd think he'd be, oh my God, TNA number 2 promotion, Bryan. It's fucking cooked. And like it just this 18 to 49 doesn't really fucking matter. It does, but it doesn't. Like Netflix don't use one key demo. The streamers don't use one key demo. They're using multiple key demos. Dude, I watched Star Search on Netflix, everyone beyond mid. It was definitely an Impact on AMC level fucking Star Search debut on Netflix. Anyways, yeah, so TNA did a solid fucking number, and when Collision because this is why Collision we're supposed to believe isn't going to be canceled. So they do the same number when they're on Thursdays. They do the same number when they're on Saturdays. They've done their lowest numbers recently, tied their lowest multiple times, tied their second lowest multiple times. So next week, though, I don't know if 173K will be watching Impact, as in tomorrow. Time Cop. I don't know if the ratings will be the same here. Like, they might be lower. We might be talking 150K watching TNA. Now, I hope 200K are watching, but after that first show, I don't know. You're a poet and didn't know it. Oh. So this, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News. Oh, I'm a bit sniffly over here. Post 3 big sneezes. So up next, guys, let's get into some WWE news. We must, because boy, is there quite a bit. And then we're going to talk about Unreal. We're going to talk about Unreal just kind of separate of WWE news, because there's a lot of WWE news here. So yeah, what do you guys think of Dynamite so far? Everyone grade it. Out of 5 stars, what do you rate Dynamite so far? I just think if you're gonna do explosions and shit, that should maybe be at the end of the show. I don't know. At 613-805 for 2 says run the likes up, no Jericho. Well, unfortunately for you, my good friend, Jericho's here right now.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yay!
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWE News, brought to you by NordVPN.com/ProWrestleTimes. There's a link below. Protect yourself online. 70% off of 2-year plans. That's my gift to you guys here in the new year. And there's a link down below. Up to 10 devices, 30-day money-back guarantee if you try it and you're like, I don't really get the point of a VPN. And it's useful if you just want to watch WWE. It's all on Canadian Netflix and YouTube, so you might as well get yourself hooked up. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into WWE news. So first we go international. Escobar, Santos Escobar came back wearing his old mask, and he had like guy liner on and shit. And he attacked Dr. Wagner Jr. at this last AAA show that went down, which was a spectacular show. So Santos like gloms him, takes his mask off. He wants the Latin American title. And again, he was like a star in Mexico, Bryan. So he's going to be pushed now finally in a way. Like he doesn't need to be on SmackDown. This is like almost better for Santos in his career in a way, especially with how many people are like watching these AAA shows that would never watch them, but are fans of WWE and are like, fuck, dude, this rules. Like, even if Mystico does dope shit, I'm not going out of my way now to watch CMLL shows, and they're hard to find. Whereas AAA, it's on Fox, it's on YouTube. They're going live once every 3 weeks. They put it on all their YouTube channels. They'll do English commentary on the WWE YouTube. Like, they're making it accessible. So I'm like into AAA now, and you see the same characters on each show. Thus far, like each big show, they're drawing houses and they're giving you these, like, I want to see La Parka, you know, I want to see Dr. Wagner Jr. and shit. So it's good stuff, and I want to see Escobar there. That's where I'm like, hell yeah! If he just came back and like attacked Carmelo Hayes, I'd be like, fuck, you know, this is like, okay, right on. Yeah, that fucking rules, man. And we could get a reunion of Los Garzas and Santos there as well. And that's not even like putting shit on repeat too bad. You have, or there could be a storyline for them individually. Like maybe Berto breaks off because Santos injures Garza, like, pardon me, Angel, pardon me. Maybe Angel gets maybe in kayfabe, like they try to align with him, Escobar attacks him, and then Berto gets a, you know, like there's so many possibilities, and it's awesome to have like an outlet for this stuff to play out. Like if you're really about it, if all you wackos out there about it, and you really want to fucking see where's Santos has been fucking, okay, you better be watching AAA. That's all I'm saying, man. And so I think we have other AAA news. So yes, this video package for Dominic Mysterio from the Fox premiere showed him with the AEW world title. It's not even the AEW world title. It's like instead of the Mega Championship, they use like an AI filter and then it says AEW. So this isn't like it's the shape of the Mega title, but it says AEW in the middle. And some people are coping. There's a dude down here who's like, it looks like it says new, not AEW. No, it says AEW, bro. And this is such a fucking L. Like, you're a multi-billion-dollar, million-dollar company, and your editors that you guys are hiring, my fucking DMs and Gmail are open, guys. Okay? WWE? Okay, Federales? World Wrestling Federales? Okay? Hit me up, dude. I'll take some pesos. Like, I'll review the AI and make sure it doesn't say that. Like, who's editing this? Like, use AI, whatever. I don't give a fuck. It's a tool that people got to get used to. I can't stand when people are like, this motherfucker. Like, I get people get triggered by AI, but it is plateauing as well. If you guys are paying attention, any of this shit, these AI companies are just getting increasingly more expensive to maintain. It made one big jump and now it's sort of plateaued. Like, people aren't gonna, like, it's already at a level where you have to monitor it for shit like this, but it can create fucking full-blown movies eventually and shit like that. But like, if you Google shit, it uses AI now. Like, Google a question into Google right now and it goes, and it's like, here's the AI overview. Like, that's everywhere now. It's inescapable. It's unavoidable. So it's really hard to complain about that when everyone's fucking partaking in it, whether you like it or not. Don't Google anything then. You got to go to the library to look things up now if you don't want to use AI. It's sort of like we're in that weird part of the future that is actually here. Although it's not as scary as people make it out to be. AI will never replace humans writing movies and shit. It does not have the capability to come up with fresh ideas. It just takes from everything else. So it can be used to inspire. It can be used to, like, calculate things, right? Maybe the Duffer Brothers should have used a fucking Grok to figure out some of these plot holes. Hey, what plot holes didn't we cover? And maybe Grok would have pointed out 50 of the fucking 100. But for Stranger Things there, you know, maybe it could be used in that way, but it's not going to, like, come up with the next E.T. or Indiana Jones or fucking Die Hard or whatever. It's not, it doesn't have that capability. So anyways, speaking of it being unoriginal, it doesn't even know enough about pro wrestling to put the AAA Mega Campeon on fucking Dominic. Right? And as this technology gets more expensive, this is still where it's at, and it will not be able to leap as greatly as it has the last 2-3 years at all with where it's at because of the cost that's incoming. And this reflects in stocks and other things. If you're into that kind of shit, I implore you to look it up. Also, shout out Ben Affleck, who's spot on. He's been spitting. He was on Joe Rogan saying the same shit. Speaking of AI and people who might not even be human and Grok, Elon Musk, and this got community noted, so I doubt it's true, but this guy just said Elon Musk is reportedly heavily rumored to consider a move to buy WWE from TKO. Why the fuck would he do that? With talks said to be at a very early stage. WWE is valued at around $9.3 billion. Etc. And then he got community noted. There are no credible reports confirming that Elon Musk is considering buying WWE from TKO. In 25, TKO denied rumors of selling. But this got like 1 million fucking 5K likes. Like, it went viral. I guess that's what community notes are for. In other news, El Hijo del Vikingo, as we talk about AAA, is signed directly, and this according to Mike Johnson of PWI, is signed directly to WWE. The rest of the AAA roster are contracted directly to Philip, which co-owns the holding company that controls AAA alongside TKO. Now, I don't know, man. I would ask Conan and just take his word on that. But this is probably the case. And I don't know about Philip, which co-owns the holding company that controls. I don't know about none of that shit. But I mean, yeah, if WWE has all these people, like it's not like anyone's gonna make this crazy jump, or it's not like Dr. Wagner isn't also, let's say he's not quote unquote signed directly to WWE. He's TKO has his contract, like point blank and simple. So I don't know why people care so much about these distinctions made. But hey, I guess it's a slow news week or something. Speaking of contracts and people being signed and whatnot, actually we have some more international news, and it pertains to people being signed and Mexico, Japan. We like to look at those landscapes here at PWT where pro wrestling is thriving. And Evil reportedly, and this according to Trey and Bryan, this wouldn't be the first time he's just dead wrong. You're big and you're strong. You got it going on. Bryan's dead wrong. Relax and take notes while I take tokes of the Wrestling Observer smoke. Put you in a choke. Gunsmoke, gunsmoke. Phil Marks for mayor. The Dave Slayer. Motherfuckers, say your prayers. So Evil reportedly could be on his way to WWE, and Bryan's like, by the way, Evil might be on his way out of New Japan, and it is strongly rumored that he's on his way to WWE. That would be awesome. Now, Evil got hated on big time when he became champ and shit. So I think he'd be cool in WWE. I'm all about it. New Japan star Evil, and Bryan continues on to say, of course, Tony Khan doesn't like Evil. See, Bryan, this is why Conrad calls you out for affecting people's shit. Like, you're just confidently saying, oh, he doesn't like him, and then that just makes shit awkward.
Come on now,
shit
Eric.
People, regardless, knowing that this guy calls your boss on the phone while you guys are live on the air. Like, remember that weird story that came out? I always love weird stories that are so oddly specific. Tony Khan doesn't like Evil. It's like, what do you mean you don't like Evil? Don't be a mark. The guy can work. He just does those House of Torture matches. You don't have to let him. Yeah, Bryan, what are you coping for? This is like fake outrage on Tone now. Now I'm defending Tone. He just let these guys go. He just let Garcia and Yuta go out there and pile drive people and exploding kendo stick them and shit on a fucking random Dynamite in the not even an hour into the fucking show. Bryan, what do you mean he won't do the goofy House of Torture shit? What are you talking about? It's not that. It's because you and Dave have a hate boner for this guy because New Japan was in a lull when Evil, because Dave didn't like that Evil became champion. He was king sicko on that. That's what happened there. Okay? So you're the fucking mark, and you guys are just saying people hate people that you don't even know they hate. I love when a story comes out from my boss Dave, from my daddy Dave, who says that, fucking this guy sucks and Tony shouldn't hire him, and we're gonna fucking bury him before he goes to the Fed. Can you believe that? I love those stories.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Fucking asshole. So I'd like to see him in WWE. I'd like to see him in TNA. Sure, I'd like to see him anywhere. I don't know. We're ageist here at PWT, so let's look up how old is Evil NJPW. He's 38 years old. He turns 39 in like not even a week. So I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about wrestlers when they're older, as long as they're not like Ric Flair, Hogan in it, 60, can't take a bump, Bushwhacker Luke, just stink facing people. I mean, maybe that's funny. They paid him some money to do that. As long as it's not like he's not walking around like Tanahashi yet. So, okay, LA Knight's almost 40. I don't care if they sign him. It could be for 2 years. Just see what he can do. You know, maybe he gets over, maybe bust open that Japanese market, maybe send him to Noah and help get someone over. It's not like he's valueless or anything, but I just don't want to see him go to AEW because what will they do with him? He won't do anything of note. And that's the problem. Now in WWE, you see the Joshis all over the show. Io Sky is one of the best fucking people, even on Unreal. She's one of the best people. She's such an interesting character. It's 2026. People don't get triggered as badly by like, what are they saying? You know, it's like fucking, it's all good. We get what Stephanie Vaquer says. I say this all the time, I'm beating this dead horse, but when it comes to Evil, like you can stick him with the manager. Does he have history? Let me look it up. Does Evil in NJPW have a history with Shinsuke Nakamura? And because why is Nakamura talking all this shit to Tama Tonga over the US title? Is some GODs versus, were they both in Chaos? I forget all these factions. There's so many goddamn. So Evil doesn't have a significant storyline with Nakamura, largely due to lack of overlap in the main event. So when Shinsuke departed is when Evil sort of blew up. And they were in different factions. So Evil was in Los Ingobernables. So I don't know, man. Maybe that he fights Nakamura. I was like, maybe they had bangers and, you know, they do a feud. Maybe Nakamura brings Evil in or one of these guys and they fight the GODs. I don't fucking know, but it's not like they wouldn't do anything with them. And they didn't just sign Matt Cardona. I'm not against them signing Evil for 2 years. And here's the thing. We haven't seen Evil in WWE. So is he going to be Roman Reigns? No. But is Rusev Roman Reigns? No, but it's awesome he's in WWE. He's done better shit. He's helped get guys over more. He helped get Dom more over. He's helped Obafemi on that fucking live event. Now look at Obafemi about to be a huge star. Like, it's better that Rusev's in WWE helping getting these guys over and shit like that than just in AEW not will. And like, so here's the thing too. People point to Rusev and they're like, oh, now he's losing in WWE. Okay, so then the problem wasn't losing in AEW. The problem is like what you guys were pitching him and who you were pitching him. And it's like, if I had to lose to Daniel Garcia, I would probably say no. And I don't even wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
The best guy's Tony Khan.
That's all it is. People in chat are saying that Evil's dating Io Sky. Bring him in. There you go. He's on Raw. You got a big bad Japanese heel called Evil, bro. His name's fucking Evil, like Dr. Evil. Da-na-na. And apparently Tony Khan hates him. Perfect guy to bring in for Raw. Boom. Right there. He can join the Judgment Day when Finn leaves it, because fuck, man, Finn is so over. And like, he was so good in that match against CM Punk, dude, on Raw. That Ireland Raw, 5 fucking stars, man. Great show. I think front to back. And the main event came and I was like, oh shit, already? And then NXT. Good shit. Other than the fucking injuries, okay? Other than people getting hurt, right? If those are shoot injuries, they could be fucking worked injuries, because if you guys watched Unreal, we know WWE's all into that. So, yeah, I hope Evil comes into WWE. That would be cool to see. And we talked about people coming into WWE and leaving whatever promotion or league or fed that they were in. And people in WWE, according to Fightful, are operating on the belief that Powerhouse Hobbs is signed to the company. And again, they're bringing Hobbs in. He's 37. Sources spoken to expected Hobbs to be at Royal Rumble weekend, but couldn't confirm such plans. Here's the thing. You either stick him in the Vision, which might be overkill, but I think they're getting Braun Breaker the fuck out of there. I think they're going to get, because Braun's over. So you get, and I'm not saying you turn him fully babyface or even change much about him, But I think him breaking off from the Vision and then Powerhouse Hobbs joins the Vision to sort of replace him, but also, and then you have intrigue when Seth comes back. It's like, okay, is it Braun, who's a full-blown babyface at that time? He has to team up with Seth to fight the new Vision guys? Or is it Seth's got beef with the new Vision? And you can accomplish this without Hobbs being in the Vision. I'm just trying to think of like, how do we, you just got to main roster this guy. You could, I mean, Joe Hendry's 37. He's in fucking NXT. Ethan Page. So you could just put him in NXT. I wouldn't even be opposed to that. Oba Femi's about to debut on SmackDown, so Hobbs on Raw. And I'm not trying to do but they're two ginormous Black Destroyer guys. I mean, when I made the same comparison, this isn't racialist. Whoa, guys. I made the same comparison with Jake Doyle and Wardlow. I was like, tall, jacked, white guy who's 37 with brown hair. You got Wardlow. Why'd you sign in? You know what I mean? So I'm making the same comparison here. You got a big monster on one show. What do you put two similar attributed guys? You could. I'm not fucking hating on that, but Trips will get people will go, see, Trips just puts all the, like he got accused of that with Jade and Bianca and stuff like that. But I think the people did kind of want to see Jade and Bianca team up, but he gets accused of that shit all the time. So it's like, what do you do with Hobbs? Who do you stick him with? I don't think you stick him with anyone unless it's the Vision. That's the only thing that makes sense. And then Breaker, you can kind of break off, pun intended, and he can become the Breaker out star as a solo on his own. And then and then when Seth comes back, you could have a story there where it's like three-way turmoil or maybe whatever. And then someone steps up, like who's going to step up? Theory? Why did they have Theory under the mask and him join the Vision if he wasn't going to step up? They want all these guys to step up as main eventers. We've seen Bronson Reed get wins over Roman Reigns and shit. So I think Hobbs, clearly, they've helped Breaker and Reed in the Vision by like, here's big wins for these guys and they're these destroyers. Hobbs would, I think, fit into the vision of what the Vision is, and it would help kind of get him over. Again, JC Mateo was stuck with the MFTs. He's an older guy as well who's been around the block. So, and Hobbs knows how to work. He can work. And also, he worked Punk, I think, in AEW, and he was one of the guys that Punk was like, I want to work with that guy. And Joe wanted to work with him and shit. And so maybe Punk is like, yeah, I want to work with Hobbs right away, and he would fit in with the Vision stuff. Do they debut him in the Royal Rumble? That could be fucked because it could get no pop.
Exactly, no pop.
Right? So that would be embarrassing. What do they call him? It would be awesome if they just called him Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Just Will Hobbs, the Powerhouse. Boom, it's right there. I mean, AEW takes people's names when they can. They take old pay-per-view names. They take they tried to do Bash at the Beach and shit. It's not an L to just call him his name, Will Hobbs. Is Will Hobbs his real name? Will Hobbs. William Hobson. Yeah, so Will Hobson. No, that doesn't hit as hard. Just Will Hobbs or William Hobbs. You have Trick Williams, though, so just Will Hobbs. Boom. Maybe you bring him in as Trick Williams Enforcer or something on the SmackDown side. That's not as good of an idea, but I'm just because you're trying to, they're doing a good job of establishing Trick himself is a main eventer, can stand up to these guys. But I'm just trying to think what other ideas. Stick him with the Miz. No, I don't want to see that. I was hoping the Miz would kind of give Trick the rub, which he is in a way, sort of, by being involved. They're all sort of intertwined, and like we're all coming for the WWE title picture. Yeah, I don't know. My idea is the Vision or the Rumble, but maybe not the Rumble, unless he comes in and then he breaks the single elimination record, and then you toss him out, and then he sort of like has a middle feud where he beats someone in the mid card and kind of works his way up. But do you guys know what I'm saying? Like he goes in there, he throws like, what's the record? I think 12 or 13 eliminations in one Rumble. I think Roman holds that shit. he does like 15 eliminations and then gets like eliminated and then just like attacks whoever eliminated him and after their singles match on Raw or whatever, and then goes into a little program like it's Cardona gets him out, and then fucking he just beats the shit out of Cardona on SmackDown or something. Like, you could build him up that way if you want to do him in the Rumble that way. Otherwise, what? NXT? They're introducing a lot of new people to NXT. If you guys notice, it is Evolve ID through and through. And I love just in the new year, hey, there's a bunch of NXT guys are going up to Raw and SmackDown, and we're introducing the next batch of Evolve ID. I love it. I love the flow of it. It's worked seamlessly. I love this last episode of NXT. We'll talk about Raw and NXT a little bit more. So, yeah, I don't know how else you get him over, but you got to do something impactful with him right away. He can't just be like, I'm going to come out and talk some shit and then I'm here. Get used to it. You know, we kind of just saw that with Trick. They have to do something fucking special with him, or Heyman. Put him under Heyman's wing. And like Bronson Reed and these guys. And Braun Breaker a little bit. Like, it will help him. And him running around with Logan Paul. Like, the one thing is, can Hobbs talk and cut a promo really? Maybe that's been his weak suit, which I don't think so. AEW did some cool vignettes with him. But like Logan Paul even could rub off on him a little bit, even though he's an older gent, I guess, as far as you're 37. But when you're in that kind of shape, or just run vignettes for him for 4 weeks and then have him debut and just destroy someone in a squash match and go old school with it. There's a few ways to do it. I think the worst thing would be him going on SmackDown. I think the worst thing would be the Royal Rumble idea that I pitched. And I think the best way would be you stick him with the Vision, which I didn't think I would say that. If Seth Rollins was still here, I would not want him near Seth. But after watching Unreal Season 2, I have a bigger respect for Seth. I got to be honest. So speaking of young talent and whatnot, and reality shows, on LFG, Keanu Carver had issues with Booker T. I think this show's more of a work than Unreal. Everyone gets triggered because Unreal's a work, but they don't get triggered because this show's a work. So who gives a...
The last time I'm talking to you. Wow. Just the last time I'm going to say anything. That don't matter. Y'all about to say I'll back it up. Get the out of here. You ain't going to make it. You won't make it in this. Here got a better punch.
Feel really good. The coaches of LFG been amazing. Booker T always bring that pack every time.
Yeah, it's just part of his character. So pretty much like Keanu Carver's getting older because they're stone colding him. It's the same thing that I said about Jacob Fatu. And clearly they're all different characters in their own right, but it's just this demeanor of he does not give a fuck and he'll just fuck you up. And then they book him to be somewhat destructive. Same with Jacob Fatu. It's on site with him. A lot of wrestlers are missing that aura. And I'm just glad that they're identifying that and we're seeing it play out on the main roster and in NXT and WWE. It's refreshing. It's like, fuck yeah, these guys seem dangerous. And shout out Keanu Carter as well. Like, that guy's blowing up on the scene. He's going to be NXT champ in no time. That guy's so good. Speaking of the young guys and being so good in call-ups, Javon Evans was unable to continue his match versus El Grande Americano. Really hoping it's nothing serious. Now, if you watched Raw, it seemed pretty legit the way they played it. At the same time, we don't know because WWE loves swerving people, and maybe this is like, we'll get people really behind Javon. I don't know what it does for if like he's really out for the next few weeks. I don't know if that's the best thing. So I'll just say it's real until shown otherwise. It's unfortunate, but El Grande, they announced on the air, like, El Grande wins the match because he's unable to continue. And I'll just say this. I'll just say this. Javon is fucking, no matter what happens to, like, let's say he is really injured right now and he's got to take a month off, he will be fine because he's so young. But as far as them working an injury with him, I don't know if that will get him any more over. I just hope he's okay. But them calling it like a shoot is the way to do it. And I know you want to protect Javon. I know you want to get him wins, or maybe he loses because of like a schmoz where the fucking Alpha and Bravo get involved. I know you want to protect him that way. I'm sure Bryan Alvarez is freaking out about this, but calling it like a shoot, I think like that only will benefit him in the long run. Like, no one's going to remember, do you remember when he lost that one time and fucking, because his arm got really hurt? So again, I say it with the Blake Monroe situation, like she really got fucked up when Thea Hill landed on her. They call it like a shoot. I'll always put that over more than like, yeah, send him in there when his arm's broken and make him finish, unless he really thinks he can or whatever. Or, oh, the ref counts to 3. Let's make everyone look stupid because this guy didn't kick out. No, just call for the bell. Fucking fix the title changes and that shit will always work itself out. People understand. We're not dumb. We understand what we're watching. So it's not going to hurt Javon in any way. But if he is really hurt, it fucking does suck. Big time. So he's said to be okay after his match was stopped. There was not concern over an injury, but worry over a possible concussion. So if he's like, my bell got rung and shit, I don't know. Evans was checked, or maybe this was a work to make people go, oh, we love him even more. That's kind of what entered my mind, but I was watching Unreal. You know what I mean? So I was just like enthralled in the Seth Rollins work shit. I think that's all it was. Evans was checked out backstage and left the show to travel with the roster. It was said it does not appear he suffered a concussion, but that cannot be confirmed. Yeah, because you're just on pro. They're just keeping an eye on you. It's changing. It's ever changing. Speaking of concussions and El Grande and whatnot, this situation happened at the AAA show where El Grande kind of got hurt and he was getting fucking stiffed by Vikingo. And he was like, fuck off, dude. Quit stomping on my head and shit. It's pretty funny. They were going at it. Their match was terrific. You want to know what else was a terrific match? Fucking Briggs versus that Shiloh Hill kid on NXT. Those dudes just went out there and fought each other, man. And it was a work, but it was like a struggle work, dude. It was some old school wrestling. That's for sure. Didn't Briggs do some Japan? He did a couple tours in Japan or whatever. Dude, that match, go and watch it. That's like the hard hitting shit. That's the style that like Eddie Kingston thinks he's doing in these fucking sloppy, dumpy matches he has. Briggs and Shiloh Hill. They just went out there and fought. It was awesome, man. Those guys really impressed me. So moving along here, Royce Keys was trademarked by WWE, will be given to, I'm sure, an ID. Hopefully, is this Hobbs? Royce Keys? Could that be his new name? We don't know. Royce Keys, it's not a terrible name. You always want to go for like what isn't being used. So Royce, no one's really called that. Royce to 5'9", and then Keys, Alicia Keys. Maybe that's where the inspiration, I don't know. So Royce Keys, there you go. Hopefully that's not Hobbs's name, but also if it is, cry me a river. I don't give a fuck. So people are coming and going in WWE, which has been a theme throughout this segment here. And Tommaso Ciampa had this to say, Ciampa, however you want to say it. He is leaving WWE for realsies. And Ciampa says, in the very near future, my contract with the WWE will officially come to an end. I'd like to thank every single person who contributed to the last 10 years of this incredible journey. camera crew, ring crew, hair and makeup team, seamstresses, referees, creative producers, catering, commentators, ring announcers, travel department, medical team, talent reps, and anybody I may have missed. A very special thank you to all of the men and women who I've shared a ring and locker room with. Nothing but love and respect. And I would be remiss not to give a special thank you to my black and gold family, who will forever hold an incredibly special place in my heart. To the fans who have shown love and support over the last 2 decades, thank you from the bottom of my heart. To my wife and daughter, you are my rock and my forever. Why? I love you more. I spent the first decade of my career traveling the world on the independent scene. I spent the second decade of my career traveling the world with WWE. I have 1 decade remaining. 1 decade remaining. Damn. And I'm beyond excited for whatever challenges lie ahead. I'm an incredibly lucky person, one of the few who has spent his entire adult life living out his childhood dream, and while that continues to evolve, I continue to chase it. With that said, for the first time in over 10 years, I'm available for all appearances, signings, photo ops, seminars, movies, TV appearances, fitness, collaboration, sponsorships, and so forth. Please email blah, blah, blah. Shout him out, bookchampa@gmail.com. Book him. So I gotta be honest, DIY was stale as fuck. I do not care about them since they've been on the main roster. I get why they got their little WWE title run in there, or a couple. I think they got a couple back-to-back. That was cool. I was hoping we would have saw more out of them and Motor City Machine Guns. Like, you could have done a program with them. I don't really understand what happened. Heel Gargano's just cringe. Gargano's been running around with Candice LeRae, no Tommaso. I would have loved to see them do, like, here's the thing, in NXT they peaked, like Ciampa's heel run and what led up to it, like them being a tag team and going through everything, going through the Dusty Rhodes Classic, like reuniting for it after they separated there. They already did that. They had great feuds with everybody. They had the famous Ciampa turns on Gargano moment. And then Gargano became the psycho heel with the NXT championship. And they had great matches with a bunch of guys way before that as a tag team. Like, they did everything. They peaked. They did all of their best shit in NXT. I'm sorry. They both did. So unless they figured out a way to recreate all of that on the main roster, but again, they are Triple H guys who, in that Vince era, he didn't see shit for them. And Triple H brought them back and fucking gave them a tag title run and featured them for the last couple of years because they kind of got skipped out on that era of black and gold. I've said this a million times too. That was supposed to be like those 3 wonky years of WWE where everyone's like, it's the pandemic and Vince is here, but is he really here and who's in control? Those couple few years was supposed to be like Undisputed Era. We're supposed to, even before that, was supposed to be on the main roster and fucking, there was a whole generation of guys. That's why he brought fucking Bronson Reed back and stuff. Like, Bronson Reed had to dip out. He was in TNA and stuff. So Ciampa, I hope at this stage in his career, he goes to AEW and gets a shitload of money to be used a little bit, because he was only being used a little bit in WWE. And if he can go get more from Tone, awesome. And he can be like a Roddy Strong. He can just help get guys over in random matches and have banger matches or whatever. Because Tone will pay him to do it. Good for him. And he can work indies and shit if that's what he wants to do. Now, TNA could be interesting. They could use a guy like Ciampa for sure. He's proven he helps get guys over. He can work heel. He can work babyface. He's a better heel when he's doing the my title thing. Also, TNA, like, yeah, their Impact debut wasn't the best, but like, they haven't booked Nick Nemeth or Kazarian poorly, right? And Kazarian effectively has helped propel Santana. So why couldn't a guy like Ciampa help get some people over and shit too? But then that's too close to WWE though, so I don't think he'd want to do that. So again, man, I would say AEW. For once, I'm actually saying AEW would be ideal. And then he could transition into like, yeah, I'm going to be a producer and shit. He would bring a professional edge. Now, I don't know if Ciampa has low tolerance for bullshit and clickiness. Maybe he ends up smacking someone like Punk, or I don't know. But either way, I wish him all the best. And DIY and Ciampa as a singles heel fucking ruled in NXT. DIY and WWE main roster has been one of the things that even if they just broke them up, unfortunately, I'd be saying it's the shits. Like, even if Ciampa wasn't leaving WWE, I just got to be honest, I'm not happy that he's like leaving WWE. He seems happy though, but I'm not happy he's like leaving to get rid of DIY. But boy, am I glad DIY is fucking not really a thing. I think Gargano can be like this goofy heel guy and just put on bangers and help get Carmelo Hayes's and Nathan Frazier's and shit more over by being like a glorified jobber. You're Grayson Waller now, bud. And I'm sorry if people like Gargano more than that. Some people call him Johnny Sameface. I've always been in that camp of like, he doesn't really do it for me personally. I don't know, not to be a hater. It just is what it is. But DIY with LeRae was a fun thing while it lasted. Ciampa, he's a solid hand, and I just hope Tony pays him up the wazoo and he can just have a banger here and there, work a few times a month. It's what he's doing already. So if he can get more money to do the same thing, sure, I'm okay with it. And it gets you away from Gargano, perfect. So that's my take on that. In other news, referee Daphne LaShawn involved in terrifying car accident. So thank God for the New Day and that she's okay. So, yeah, earlier today, my wife and I, Leon Ruff posted this. Earlier today, my wife and I were rear-ended on the road. And then we got into a car accident. Oh, go. We just got home from the hospital and we're both sore and shaken up. I'm all right, but Aja's hurting more than I am. Unfortunately, the car's totaled. God. Damn, yeah, their whole back end of their shit is tore up. And their trunk doesn't look too good either. Oh, good, another one. Oh, I'm over here. But yeah, I'm just glad that they're alive and well and okay. That's incredibly unfortunate. So speaking of other shit going on, the Royal Rumble is being built. The stadium for it is being built. And Saudi Arabia, the view from the inside is actually, let's take a look at this. I'm excited, although the Rumble, like, there's only a handful of people announced for it, not even a handful, really. And I don't know. It just feels weird that it's already creeping up. Doesn't it? I just feel like it's so sudden and there hasn't been too much hype for it, but I'm ready for it. I always get excited for the Rumble. It's going to be an amazing live stream watch along with the PWT universe. I genuinely can't wait. So speaking of events coming up, AJ Styles versus Gunther with Styles' career on the line is set for the Rumble. So I don't think he retires here. Like, I'm sure, or maybe he retires here, but then he gets brought back for a one-off at Mania, quote unquote, retired. But I don't know if AJ wants to do that. And I think he said that this year is like his last year. Is he going to do it the Cena way? Is he looking at his year Mania to Mania? Or is he looking at it like, nah, dude, I want it to be done already in January, but that's when Cena, it was done in December, so I'll be done in January. Like, he could have looked at it that way. How does he weigh his years? Didn't he do like a contract extension until the end of 26 or something? So maybe next January he'll go out. I think that we see Gunther lose here. Like, maybe AJ gets one over on him, but perhaps there's some shenanigans involved that we don't see coming. Or maybe not, but I don't know, Bryan, but it would be crazy if Styles just went out here. Like, I fucking see Gunther ending his career too. I see him racking up a few retirements. So shout out AJ Styles, and hopefully they take this story in the right direction. And this is a huge match. So you have to assume neither of them will be involved in the Rumble. Like if Gunther retires Styles, then enters the Rumble, or Styles taps out Gunther, then Gunther enters the Rumble. Like maybe it's not like they don't do that, but there's so many guys, and with surprises that people want. I know they want one or two surprises. It's like they have the room, and then obviously like McIntyre and whoever he faces at the Rumble won't be in the Rumble more than likely. So interesting. I'm really hyped for this card. It's going to be awesome. But Saturday night, this Saturday, which we'll be watching on Sicko Saturday as well, we have a PLE, if you want to call it that. Saturday night's main event: Orton versus Trick versus Priest versus Zayn. Winner gets a shot at the WWE title. Oh my God. Look at Trick, how fast he's just. I love that they just established he's in the title picture. I fucking love that. Like, you have to do the same with Hobbs in a way. He has to go just be in the world heavyweight title picture. And I love that they did that. And then I like that Priest is in there. He's like, I'm mixing it up. Sammy's like, I'm going to become world champion. This is the second year he said that. Who knows? And then you have Randy in there. Now, any one of these guys against Drew at the pay-per-view at the Rumble would be dope. But who is it? Maybe Damian. Fatu's going to get involved either way, I feel like. I think Fatu might win the Rumble, though. Randy versus Drew, I feel like we've seen that. But it is the Rumble. So it's this big stacked event. Priest would be cool, I guess. But yeah, we'll find out at SNME. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky take on Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez for the titles. I could see them winning the titles, Roxanne and Morgan. I could see them winning these belts, and I like that they are teamed up. But it's trippy because, yeah, the women's tag team champs are like, and we're in the Rumble, and then the other faction of girls are like, and we're all in the Rumble, and then now Valkyria and Bayley are like, we're all in the women's Rumble, and like, no one really cares. Like, sure, there'll be some men's tag teams in the Rumble, but no one really gives a shit. Shouldn't be like their main focus. But with the women's tag division, it is what it is. And yeah, I like Liv and Roxanne being together, like switching it up, and Raquel being kind of pushed as Big Sexy, Big Mommy Cool. I think she called herself Big Sexy on Raw, didn't she? And so I could see, like, they hot potato these women's tag belts around all the time. I could see Liv and Roxanne getting them. And I'm curious with the Judgment Day, man. Like, does this thing even get... Dom's doing his own thing. Finn, it's like, JD's hurt. Finn, it's like he was so over in that fucking Ireland Raw match. And he just is in general. Like, they brought back his old music. If he just did his thing, dude... And he's not going to be wrestling much longer either. I think he said that. He signed his last ever deal with WWE, and like in pro wrestling, his last ever long-term deal. So, he should just do his own thing, man. I don't know. He should be in that main event picture again. Rhodes versus Fatu. I mean, this is just amazing. And Rhodes has to claw his way back to the top. Now, are both these guys in the Rumble? Like, Rhodes is already in the Rumble, so I'm going to predict he takes the L from Fatu, and he puts people over. Rhodes might be able to pull off a third Rumble. My top picks so far, Fatu or Rhodes winning the Rumble. So this could be seed sown for that. I got a super chat here. Arthur Jennings 2 for 10 says, do you think WWE are stacking NXT because there will be a lot of veterans retiring released in the next 12 months? Yeah. So if you've been listening to PWT for the last long little while, and thank you so much for the super chat, dude. If you've been listening to this show for the last little while, yes, I think that it's kind of obvious.
Acknowledge me.
With Unreal as well, even Becky's talking about, like, she might not be around too much. Her whole goal now is, I've done everything, just get everyone over. So why would you be doing that if you're not going to be around? A lot of the people will not be around over the next 5 years. And Paul Heyman said it. John Cena said it on Joe Rogan. Paul Heyman says it on Unreal. Michael Cole said it. And your boy Phil Marks has said it. They're looking at 3 to 5 year window. So that's why Gunther can retire, everybody. Oh, he's older. Okay, well, people can wrestle till they're like 45, or if you make it to WWE by the time you're 45, you're pretty much well off. A lot of especially if you get to the world title level, like a lot of these guys still look good at 45 and 50, but are they played out is the question. Gunther's like 38 or some shit. Okay, he'll be here till he's at least 45. So over the next 5 years, we can have him crush these guys as long as whoever comes along in the next 3 crushes him in the last 2. Right? I think that's the way they view things. And yeah, it's veterans and some of these guys like, well, I guess Ciampa's a veteran, but some, like the way that they've bulked up on the ID NXT, it's just to develop stars for the next 10, 20 years. This is the natural progression of pro wrestling. Now, for a while, shit got stale because WWE did sort of control it all. But now we have TNA's heated up again. AEW, definitely when MJFs or Powerhouse Hobbs or Samoa Joe goes back to the Fed, everyone loves that. AEW's good for that and all the contract shit and all that. But I just think they're investing in pro wrestling the right way, and they've done nothing but invest time, money, resources into expanding what is NXT, and everybody should be thanking God that that's the case. And I know that fucking sickos out there are like, oh, but it's the pre-programmed wrestling, but it's not, man. Look at AAA. They do crazy shit. Look at some of these matches. They give you a dose of, oh, yeah, here's Ray, Dragon Lee, and Penta, and they're just going to have a fucking crazy 6-man trios match where they're all flipping and backflipping through. Like, they still do that, man. They do it all. It's the perfect balance. And so the way they're developing people benefits you no matter what. Even if you're an AEW guy, you can, all the most over people in AEW were in WWE or got over in WWE, or are guys like MJF who are doing shit the WWE way. Like, he just talks shit, man. He's known for talking shit. Is his rest? Can he do an over the top rope cutter? Sure. He saves it for All In, though. Does he do 1 or 2 many extra pile drivers? Sure. He's making his boss happy. But like MJF just wrestles. He just arm bars you. He fucking does a cartwheel and then tells you to suck it or whatever. Like, he's doing sports entertainment. So, and that's like their world champ and the guy that everyone's like, that's their guy. Fucking. So, yeah. I think you're spot on with that. And I think a lot of the veterans are doing their, like Roman Reigns put over Bronson Reed and shit. They're doing things the right way. Cena put over Gunther. It's the right thing to do. I don't care what any of these crybaby marks think. Tanahashi losing to Okada even. That was the right thing to do. Period. Okada's going to be wrestling the next 5 years or so. Minimum. Put him over. Yes, does it help AEW? Sure. But Tanahashi-san's laying the fuck down for Tone too. So it's just you do pay it forward. That is, you don't Ric Flair it, okay? No offense to Flair, but you just don't do that shit. You don't Shawn Michaels it. I've always told this story too, from the episode of Table for 3. I don't know if everybody watched those. I used to watch those ones obsessively. They were on the WWE Network. And the Table for 3 with AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels. Shawn's already retired, and AJ Styles is in the company for like a couple years. And they're like, oh, the dream match, like whatever. I think it was Undertaker, whoever's sitting with them is like, oh, the dream match is you two guys at Mania. Maybe it's Michael Hayes. I can't remember. And then HBK goes, yeah, but it's like, who goes over? And then both AJ and the other guy at the table look at HBK like, are you fucking kidding me? And Shawn Michaels is like, no, but seriously, who goes over? Like, even then in his old age, like, bro, you put fucking, what are you, Ric Flair, buddy? Like, don't you put fucking AJ over? You know, you don't win your last shit. I just think that it's not MMA. It's not real. And it actually, what is real is the rub you get from putting someone else over. Something Sting didn't do for AEW. And, oh, that's Tony's call. Well, that's a great cop-out, but don't be a Sting. You know? Be him in the character department, which, by the way, Sting made his living off of, I'm going to just rip off the Crow, and then I'm going to rip off the Joker, and then I'm going to rip off the Crow again. That's all, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not a hater on it, but that's what it was. So it's not even like really look to him for that type of shit either. But yes, as some of these people go, you have to have people waiting in the wings ready to go who can really get over. And you're not going to know that unless you put them through the ringer, which is the PC. If you're an Obafemi, you're good to go. If you can work with fucking Joe Hendry and Ethan Page, like, you can't tell me Ethan Page isn't good to go the next 5 years. So it's all right that he's in NXT. But even some of those guys are older. So I just think that as some of these women wrestlers especially want to go become moms, and it used to be, oh, you're 40, you're done. But now it's like, well, you got till you're like 45-ish. But you know, some of these women, even Chelsea Green's like, maybe I'll be a mom by then. If you watch Unreal, she just wants to be a mom so bad. And it's like, once they get bit by that bug, they're going to be a mom. They're probably going to just stay home more, especially when their husbands make shitloads of money too. It just is what it is. So, yes, in the women's department, luckily they have a fucking ocean swimming with female talent. And then as far as the men are concerned, yeah, Roman, I can't see him being around too much longer. Rhodes, I don't know, maybe the next 5 years, then he hangs it up. Like, he'll become a suit backstage though. It's like Cena, he hung it up, but he's got an ambassador deal. So who else? I called some of these, like Naomi. The Usos have said they're going to call it soon. Brock, I don't see being around for too terribly much longer. AJ's going. Goldberg just left. People are calling their shots and they're going. Jericho isn't going to be around too much longer either. Like, he'll come into WWE for a couple years, maybe go back to the Wubs for a few, and then a couple years, and then just call it quits. Yeah, even guys like Rusev, how much longer is he going to be around? So you need your Obafemis, you need your Braun Breakers, you need your Ethan Pages, who are around that age as well, where he might be able to just get super over on Raw really quickly. And then you have Rollins, who will go for a long time. But again, if you watch Unreal, he's real involved in the office stuff. Him and Triple H are close, and he's really focused on, like, how do we make WWE this great thing? So him as well, like, how long is he really going to do it when the office job is there for him and he's got kids and shit, you know? But yeah, thank you for that great question and that great super chat. And like, yeah, sorry, LA Knight, CM Punk, what, who else? I was listing people there. A bunch of like, how long does Motor City do this shit before they just become full-time NXT coaches? You know, like, Sheamus, Shinsuke. Like, I'm just throwing names out there. These are guys who knows how fucking long. Truth even. Truth already had his, oh, you got brought back. Like, he can go home. If he gets fired again, I don't want to hear nobody crying. You know? Miz. And I'm not saying these people won't stick around with the company as, like, commentators or managers or backstage, whatever. I'm sure they will. Ambassadors. But you have to blow people up. Like, in the next 5 years, when all these guys, let's say, are gone, who are the faces that are coming to town and drawing 13K every Raw? Penta, you know, Dominic Mysterio. Like, we got to get these guys going. So yeah, sign everyone up, get your Keanu Carvers and your Javons, and also have your Joe Hendrys and your Ethan Pages and your Ricky Saints and your maybe Will Hobbs, who shows up and teams up. Maybe he's Ricky Saints heater in NXT. There you go. That's how you book Hobbs in NXT. Ricky Saints fucking bodyguard. They were in FTW together, whatever that team was. So let's get back to this. So WWE Raw failed to rank on the Netflix Global Top 10 for last week's episode in Germany. The number 10 show, Marcelo Hernandez, American Boy, did 2.5 million views on Raw, was under that, which is lower than usual. Afternoon shows never do well. Yeah, I watched fucking Raw on, like, what day is today? Wednesday. So I watched it early this morning or late in the night, depending how you vibe throughout the day. SmackDown will air on Sci-Fi February 13th and 20th. Due to the USA Network's coverage of the Winter Olympics, will still be in the show's regular 3-hour time slot. but it'll be on Sci-Fi. So those ratings, I mean, SmackDown's struggling to crack 1 million now. On Sci-Fi, it'll be abysmal. And oh well, there's always streaming, pal. Get yourself some nordvpn.com/ProWrestleTimes, link below, or just type in what I said. Save 70% off on 2-year plans. Get Canadian Netflix with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get Canadian Netflix, and then you don't have to worry about what channel it's on. It's just on Netflix, and you can stream it whenever. And it's live when it happens live. Up to like 10 devices. Protect yourself online. NordVPN.com/ProWrestleTimes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE News. What a jam-packed show. We have one last thing I want to talk to you guys about, okay? And it's just Unreal. WWE Unreal. And it triggered so many fucking people for whatever reason. And so I want to play you guys some clips, some cope, and some reactions. So Triple H asked Road Dogg about the future direction if Chelsea Green wins the Women's United States title. And so there's people asking for Road Dogg to like be fired about these clips here, over these clips here. Now, I will be honest, Road Dogg was kind of spurging out a bit and he gets too emotional, and I don't think that's good for him. I don't think he's a positive in the SmackDown's writing room and stuff. However, I've only seen fucking, how is he for morale with wrestlers? I don't know. Like, these are 10-second excerpts, so I'm not going to say he should be fired. But he kind of argues with Trey. He's not afraid to voice his opinion. So let's play a couple Road Dogg clips and then look at some reactions from fans.
For that, I think we're going to have one short match.
Could you use this as the opportunity to switch the title back, and Chelsea wins the title back? It might not be a bad thing.
So I guess my question would just be, if you flip it back to Chelsea, who should work with?
Let's go.
Chelsea, she's got something. There's something to her.
She does, but my point is, if you put the U.S. title on her, I'm not saying we lost faith in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Put the U.S. title on her, and she works with, I mean, the baby faces that she is.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to figure out who to have her work with. But I think what Triple H's point is there is that she's already worked with everyone, and she has. She's had feuds with everyone. So it's like, put the title back on her, and then, but it's like, I don't know, get La Hiedra over here and have her feud a little bit or something. You know, you did it with Ethan Page in the North American and Dr. Wagner. Like, have her fucking wrestling. I don't know. That'd be my idea.
Work with are the same ones she already went through. Zelina Vega, Michin, B-Fab.
The biggest L was taking the title off of Chelsea Green for Vega. That's, if you want to pinpoint a fucking L, whoever pitched that is the L. Road Dogg fighting for Chelsea Green and being like, you know, being like, yeah, let's put it on Green. It's because he just sees more there for her. I'm with him on that. She could have went on a lengthy fucking reign with that title.
Anybody that's above that, then she's got to lose to. Alexa Bliss, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, right?
And again, they make it very clear. Green is enhancement. She's there to, and not enhancement like a jobber, like Roddy Piper. She's there to be mid, lower, but the people above her, she's there to make them look good and shit. And they were just blunt about that, and she accepts it. Her attitude, Chelsea Green rules. The show just reminds you both seasons how awesome she is as a person.
The flip of that is, okay, so play it out, put it on Chelsea, and she works with
The same girls.
Yeah,
I understand. I don't know. I don't disagree. I know I sound like I do, but
So in those booking,
and like that, people are like, oh, he said, I don't know. Oh, it's an indictment. No, stupid. Have you ever been sitting there thinking, trying to create fucking art, or in a writer's room, or you're sitting there trying to think like, what should I don't know. I've done that before. You might just go, I don't know. Oh, I got it. They didn't put the part on camera where they're all like, we got it. Let's do this. So people were calling for Road Dogg's head. I don't know. That's not too bad. But here he kind of just like melts down on Triple H. So Road Dogg absolutely losing his shit and telling Triple H like it is, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Triple H was right in this.
I'm very scared to pitch anything for this story. Like everything is just horrible in the shits. And so I don't want to pitch anything else for this story. I can't wait till John to fucking beat him, to say the truth, to do here. And so
Bryan wrote 2 in a week. So today's Wednesday. By Saturday, we're going to tell them this is an all new fucking R-Truth. John Cena should be afraid.
Well, no, but we should do something.
No, but I think it's
Don't fucking cut me off. Let me get mad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what we're supposed to do here. The way you're saying it, there's nothing we can do that will.
No, I'm not. What does he think that accomplishes? Is my question.
So they're talking about, for those of you who don't know, like Truth wanted to cut his hair, and they established that Road Dogg and R-Truth are like really close, and they have been for a long time. And so Road Dogg's here, like, we got to do something with Truth. He can't just come back. Like, he's going to bat for his boy. So again, people are like, Road Dogg doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. It just seems like he's voicing his opinion and trying to, like, this is how you have to hash shit out sometimes, like that. Like, I don't know.
Other than he wants to cut his hair.
And Triple H is just laying it out in front of him. Think through this. Don't be emotional. To which Road Dogg goes, I don't know. He's my friend. I'm being emotional. He cops to it. So it's like, I think that's the opposite of someone who doesn't know what's going on. It seems like he knows what's going on. But is he a positive for SmackDown? I don't know. SmackDown's been the shits. So, yeah, I would say maybe just move him, do something different with him.
I don't know. It hurts my heart. So my heart's going to be hurt. So let's move on.
See, Triple H is like, we got to do business and what the fans want. And BG James is more Road Dogg. Jesse James is just like, my heart will hurt if we don't do it this way. So it's just emotional damage. That's all. So, yeah, I don't think that's conducive for sure. But, like, he should be fired. Well, like, so he should be jobless. I just hate when people go to these fucking extremes, and you see some sickos. After watching WWE Unreal, and you can spot the bots, these 4 here need to go right now. Starting with the Road Dogg. He showed he has no idea what the fuck he's doing and has zero creativity. It's like, well, what did Bruce Pritchard do that was bad? Michael P.S. Hayes, everybody, all the fucking top wrestlers pick his brain and show him love and go to him and ask his advice and all this shit. And they all stop and make sure they listen to what he has to say. So why Michael Hayes? What the fuck did he do in the show? And then Ed Koskey. He said like 4 things. After watching WWE Unreal, then look, just a robot, the same shit. All I can say is all of these guys need to go, especially Road Dogg. The series straight up revealed that he doesn't know what he's doing and has no creativity. 6.6K likes. And then this redact just steals the same tweet. Gets 2 likes. They said it's hard out here for a grift. When you trying to get that money for the blue check. And so this guy here, WWE is so hilarious with the way it completely exposes how dog shit the writing room, because what do you mean Road Dogg suggested that Chelsea should be the next U.S. champion, but couldn't think of a single person for her to defend the title against? Okay, Twitter hack. The writing room's dog shit because this one time they were like, oh, we have to really think of how to do something creative here and be original. Holy man. All this show exposed that people get too triggered, and also they don't know shit. Like, they've never been in writers' rooms. They've never done anything creative, and they don't know how this shit goes sometimes. Clearly. Bunch of uncreative motherfuckers crying and being like, oh, this is horse shit because Road Dogg is shitty. When really he was just emotional because he was standing up for his friend, which if you actually watch the show, you extrapolate that from the episode. So Charlemagne the God speaks on Triple H saying R-Truth was never fired. And here's what R-Truth said on The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So what Triple H said, you didn't really get fired.
I was about to ask that.
Okay, let me ask you this then. I got the call, right? Mm-hmm. I got my.
And you find out in Unreal what happened was, and Truth admits this fully in Unreal as well. So all of these people are being stupid when they hate on Triple H. They flat out lay out what happened. So at no point was Truth ever not under contract. But when they told him, hey, you're not going to be renewed. We're playing a cat and mouse game. You haven't contacted us. And then Triple H admits, and we did that kind of like, hey, maybe it lights a fire under their ass to come talk to us, which he did. And then he re-signed with us, and we got it done before his other deal even came up, which in the beginning they were going to re-sign him. Just the numbers were far apart, apparently. Which is fine, but it's like, how are they using Truth? And where's everybody chanting for Truth every Raw? Now he's just a comedy guy that comes out once in a while. You could just pay him per appearance if you want to just bring him out once in a while and have him do something funny, for fuck's sakes. Especially for what he was getting paid. And he came back to the table, and R-Truth admits it readily. He's like, I felt like that meant I was released. But legally, the motherfucker was still under a contract the whole time.
My agent working on this end with their agent. Mm-hmm. I put stay out of that, right? Let them handle that thing. But I get a call from this side saying we're not going to renew your contract, or however it was, you're not going to renew it. So do I come to work? It's Sunday.
Yes, they said we're not going to renew it. So when your contract is up, that's when you stop going to work. When it's no longer renewed, right? So he misunderstood. Because he's like, I have people over here handling this, but then I get called straight up from WWE, told I'm not being renewed. So there you go. Whoever you had telling you, or whoever you were communicating through, was not being quick enough for them or whatever.
Next Sunday when my contract was
quick enough for them or whatever.
Be in, right? Mm-hmm. So do I come to work? No, don't come to work. Oh, okay. Am I done now? Yes. There was no flight. No calendar. What do you call that?
Sounds like a firing, but
I mean, but it's all. I don't know if it's all the same or if it's different.
Sounds like a firing. No, that sounds like we're not gonna renew your contract once it's up.
If it ain't, I mean, I guess I'm.
It's just that he went to social media. He did the smart thing. Truth did, and he galvanized a bunch of people to be like, "What the fuck? We want Truth." And so for WWE, it might have pissed them off a bit, but for him, it worked in his favor for sure. And he's just being chill and coy about it. And so, people were mad at Triple H over a few things. So this was posted by WrestleZone, and they just get ratioed 12 comments. Triple H criticized for how he congratulated WWE star backstage. You mean this woman rather, who runs up to him, and she looks up to him as like a father figure clearly, and she runs up to him and does like a little kid jump on their dad, fucking wrapped her legs around him. Oh my God, thank you. You always believed in me. That's what Io Sky says in this moment. It's totally not inappropriate. And we played at the start of this show 10 minutes of Tony Khan where Ruby Soho debuts. He's like, oh, that was great. Hometown, it's great. He grabs her hand, pulls her in for a hug, and he's like, are you okay? Is everything good? And she's like, yeah, I'm good. That's in 10 minutes of Tony Khan. That was on their reality show, too, on AEW's version of fucking Unreal that nobody watched. And so it doesn't get criticized for being a million times more goofy and fake than this shit. And Io Sky ran up to him and gave him this hug. So it's inappropriate how now I know this didn't really catch wind, but who's criticizing him? Fucking sickos, man. And so here's Triple H keeping it real with LA Knight. And yeah, I was DMing with Husey about this. It's like, yeah, LA Knight, I think that this is kind of proof that there's a couple spots he may have fucked up and gotten shit for, because confirmed he got shit for fucking up this Money in the Bank. He fucked it up straight up. Like Abyss lays it out. He fucks it up. And I like LA Knight. You guys know that, but it's just the truth. You know, he fucked up the spot, and Triple H told him how. And LA Knight was like, God damn, I don't want to be hearing none of this right now. But he messed up the Rumble. There was rumors that like, oh, he's kind of his attitude, whatever the fuck, and he's messed up some spots, and it's like, well, at the Rumble then too. Did he fuck that up?
You got it.
I don't know.
And he comes, pulls you down when you land, kick, stop, boom, fucking. He goes up and he fucking grabs where you were that fucking close. We've got a really good story there. We just missed the moment to put the fire on him. You got it.
And obviously he's disappointed in himself a little bit and he's getting dressed down, but Triple H, like, he handles things, I think, pretty well. When you see this, like, guys, again, I played 10 minutes of Tony Khan. I'll do 10 minutes of Triple H and we'll watch them back to back and compare them on a run-in if you guys want. And I'll edit together Triple H. Like, what do you guys want me to do? This is way more serious of a fucking company than Tony Khan going, yeah, no, I gave you more. It's great. In 5, give him the 30. Ha yes. You know what I'm saying? So moving along here. This is what Lil Boat had to say to Logan Paul, and then Logan Paul, this is Shout Out Impulsive, and this is what they had to say about Triple H taking too much heat from fans over the shit that goes on. Now, I don't even want to play that card. And it's okay. I get, like, whatever. They're talking about it. They know him personally and shit. For me, it's like, I don't want to see, like, part of why you can go, well, clearly Triple H handles shit better is you can see how he acts in Unreal. Plus, you can see how he handles the media and stuff at these press conferences. And you've seen his body of work in wrestling. And he no-sells the fucking, like, everyone's against me shit. Whereas Tony Khan, everyone's against us. It's always a conspiracy. It's always blaming the fan. You just didn't understand the Death Riders. Like, so you can clearly see who handles their job better. And I like that Triple H doesn't let this shit get to him. Like, I don't care. I don't need anyone to defend him. Let people shit on him. Who cares?
That's just the thing with the internet, though, man, right? Like, I think people always feel the need to blame someone for something.
Yeah.
You know, like the fans right now love blaming Triple H. You know, I don't think that's fair.
It's also not his fault.
Yeah.
No, but it is on him. He's the head guy. So just like Tone, it is whatever goes good, it's his fault. Whatever goes bad. I just argue that the shit that people go, it's bad. No, you don't care that Cena got tapped and who's on TV every week and who is in a hot program and they're trying to book a big AJ Styles match around at the Rumble and shit. It's Gunther. That's why it happened that way. You don't have to like it. You don't know better, you crybaby Mark. Look at the business it did. That's the real awards. I said this about Tone. The SI awards, none of that shit matters. The awards in pro wrestling are who fucking drew. How many fucking eyeballs are watching? What was fucking WrestleMania? What is everybody talking about? Period.
I don't think that's fair.
I'm telling you, as an insider, it's not his fault. Like,
well, I mean, 0%. I believe it though. I mean, it's a company. You know, no one huge Fortune 500, 400, whatever Fortune company. All decisions lean on one person.
Yeah,
it's just not how companies go,
dude. It's human nature, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, how easy is it to just assign blame?
Mm-hmm.
Assign blame. It's your fault. We hate you. And when in reality, most situations have a lot of nuance.
Oh, don't say it.
Absolutely.
You're gonna piss people off, dude.
No, most situations do have nuance, and I agree with what Logan Paul said. And that's why I brought up what I did with the Trey Miguel firing. It's like, yeah, it's easy to blame WBD when they allegedly canceled people before. That didn't make sense too. But this doesn't make sense. There's more to it than that. And you call the shit out. And that's where with Triple H, I will agree with that aspect. Yes, it is on him. He's the head honcho, but they are right, man. It's a publicly traded company. The Saudis are involved. Nick Khan's involved. Everybody's involved. So it isn't all on him, every single decision. And you're dealing with real superstars. So Tone's just dealing with people who come in. Edge is like, oh, yeah, I'll take $3 million. And then I'll go. Like, he's just dealing with fucking people who are just marking him in for money. In WWE, they're investing in you. You're not marking them in for money. And you're dealing with John Cena's and Roman Reigns. They're in mainstream fucking movies. Drew McIntyre's and Cody Rhodes. And, like, they're in Hollywood and shit. Like, you're dealing with people who are fucking draws. Like, if those three guys, if Drew, Roman, and Rhodes left and said, we're going to put on a wrestling show and it's an indie show, they'd do what the first All In did. You know what I mean? They'd fucking draw a bigger house than that. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about you're dealing with Logan Paul, a guy with millions of dollars and followers and shit and opportunity to garner money regardless of WWE existing. So the checks and balances go way beyond even what Tony Khan is capable of understanding.
I mean, the internet hates nuance. They hate complexity. They want simple headlines.
Yeah, but
they want to blame.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. But the reality is that that's not behind the scenes in real life. That's not what's going on. That's not what it is, you know. But the average consumer, one, can't honestly even understand the complexity of a situation, the layers in real time, the ladder of a decision, you know. So, you know, you got a guy who sits in the seat. It's easy to put the blame on one person when we're all unhappy as a masses, especially if
like even bringing it back to Unreal season 1 when Triple H is like, okay, he meets with The Rock and he's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and Rhodes is gonna do this. Cena, I'm thinking this, and then The Rock goes, what about if I get one big whack in? And then Triple H is like, okay, that works. But then he's got to go fucking run it by 10 fucking people when he thought he already had the plan down, you know, like, and then you can't not listen to The Rock. He's on the fucking board and he's respecting Triple H enough to even run the creative by him. He could have just did it if he wanted. So it's a whole fucking thing. And Yachty's right about that.
He's, you know, mature enough to not spaz out and like can take it, you know.
And people
like
mad at Road Dogg's ideas. It's like Vince Russo had bad ideas too, but Vince McMahon took some of them and then repackaged them better or discarded the shit ones and took the good ones and whatever. And you can do that with Road Dogg too. It's not like he's a brainless fucking dummy. He's like a second, third generation wrestler or whatever himself, like whole family of wrestlers. And so here's Lyra Valkyria. Here's just a clip that's making the rounds because she got really emotional.
Honestly, everything up to now has been so amazing.
And they kind of just made her look like a jobber, really, on the show. Just
but you know, when this is everything. Like, this is everything. So when it doesn't, when you don't feel the magic or whatever, this is the first time I've felt this way. So you want me to be real? That's as real as I can be right now. Sometimes just anything that can go.
Yeah, so she was upset because of the Becky Lynch match she had with the zip ties, and she's fumbling around and
stuntmen and all this, and sometimes it just doesn't go the way you see it in your head, and it's just what happens sometimes. But the way you can really judge a talent is on what they do afterwards, how they handle that, and they don't do this, let me tell you. Like, you can feel it in the moment, and then you just have to pick up and move on, because we've always got Raw on Monday, we've always got the next big show, and no one like ever has the perfect streak, and you have to just like get knocked down and get back up again. So we've got Raw on Monday, I'm gonna have to just fucking get back up and be okay. Anyway, that's about as real as I can be and as much as I can say right now. So he said very complimentary things about it.
Yeah, and Cena put her over strong.
He said very complimentary things about it.
That shit was legit. There's no fucking way I'd ever said yes to that. Like, that shit was violent and brutal, and we got Bayley back in the fray, and now it's like mixed emotions and shit. Like, it's way better than you think. It's just
there was no changing my mind on it, so that was very hard.
Yeah, and she was beating herself up, and Becky was like, don't worry about it. So here's Bryan, crying Bryan. Him and Dave are just crying about Unreal. It's not even real. Oh, no shit. And they got triggered over season 1, and here's him and Tom Lawler doing their thing. We'll leave it on a crying Bryan here.
There was a whiteboard that was shown in season 1 that had, I believe, proposed matches for WrestleMania. And there were some very...
Who cares? I'm sure that they wrote a bunch of shit. It doesn't mean it was finalized and you didn't get what the fuck there was or whatever the fuck. Like, it drives me nuts when people do this. Oh my God, do you believe on the whiteboard it said this thing that didn't even end up happening? So who gives a fuck?
Interesting things on that whiteboard. And I was basically told, don't be a mark. So that show is a work, everybody. Obviously, there are aspects
There
of
was things on the whiteboard. I was told, don't be a mark, and this show's a work. No shit. They don't show you the finalized shit. They're not going to show you stuff you haven't seen. They're milking the Cena episodes till this summer. Jesus fucking Christ. Bryan sits here like matter-of-factly. Meanwhile, Dave and Bryan are the ones who got worked when they got all triggered, and they were at the first season, and they're like, can you believe they're trying to sell us on the iShowSpeed thing? Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And then when you watch the show, it wasn't even real. It was just them showing you iShowSpeed was involved. It showed you how they set it up and everything.
that are real, you know. I'm sure there's some real tears here and there, and I'm sure there's some real emotion here or there. But if you don't think that that show is scripted exactly to show you only what they want to show you and nothing more, think again.
I would...
If you think this is what they want to show you and nothing more, think again. No one thought that but you and Dave. None of you, nobody said that even. Jesus fucking Christ.
The way I would describe them
Don't be a mark. The whiteboard showed that this match that we said they thought about that didn't end up happening because we get leaked fake shit and shit that isn't going to happen. And then we talk about it in hindsight like it's real, and then it doesn't happen, but we were right. No, that's terrible fucking journalism.
That Raw is your weekly episodic scripted television show, if you will, and Unreal is the constructed reality show type about it. And if you think reality shows are real...
Why didn't Lance Storm... Sorry, I might have said Tom Lawler. Why the fuck didn't Lance Storm and Bryan have little melties about this, about all AEW All Access? Where that was a fake real reality show too. Why didn't they care? Why was there no melties from because it's on Netflix because people are actually watching it. And that's all you need to know about the Fed. This show isn't for diehard sickos. It's for fucking people who are interested in it is. If you can like watch it and enjoy it like myself, but it's not for, it's like for casual, it's like for pro wrestling fans who maybe lapsed or like your wife to watch some wrestling shit with you or people. And here's the thing too. This is an allegedly.
Allegedly.
The Unreal Season 1 and Season 2, I guess, are tracking to do so good. Like, apparently this show has been like gangbusters for Netflix as far as, I don't know what the minutes streamed, the hours watched, I don't know, but apparently Unreal is like so super fucking successful for them. Okay, that's an allegedly, I was told. I'm not allegedly. I don't know, but yeah. So, I mean, that's who it's for. Clearly more casuals are watching this show. It's for like a casual or like someone who doesn't really care or doesn't just get triggered by, you think Dave would love this show. It's an actual backstage look instead of him being told shit that gets erased. Dave gets told the shit they erase off the whiteboard. And then that's when someone runs and tells them. And then that's why they're all fucked up all the time.
Bridge for sale.
And they don't know
and
shit.
It's like they are going to spin things, manipulate things, make the show more interesting by adding.
And what good does it do telling people things like, oh, the plan right now for Mania is a triple threat? Okay, so what good does that do for anyone? Doesn't even matter because that could change or it's like a meaningless thing when Dave could be focused on like historical stuff and we'd be putting him over.
Emotion and drama and potentially false whiteboards to help them tell a story. If it's on television, there's a work element to it.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Lance Storm, I mean, I don't blame him for just keeping it real and saying
There
something
was a-
objective. He's just trying to keep his job or whatever. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was that segment. That was just the Unreal segment for this show. Guys, we did 3.5 hours. I appreciate you all so much. Round of applause for the PWT universe. You guys are fucking goated. Love you all so much. I will see you for Sicko Saturday night main event. We will be watching SNME. It will be a blast. I have been your host, Phil Marks. Be good to yourselves and each other. Get some rest. I will see you tomorrow for Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week, which does return with a vengeance tomorrow live on YouTube. Make sure you're here. And yeah, be good to yourselves and each other. Peace.
Yeah. Damn. It's B3CCA. You know who it is. Get ready, ho. Yeah. They all wanna be me. They all wanna be B3. Trippy, pretty, witty. From the West Coast to New York City. You don't have the motion, you just have a name. Take away the brand, you are hella lame. I talk my talk and back it up easily. Yeah, got your girl yelling B3ID. Posting on the gram, funny how you're trying to posture. Easy to be champ of a one-woman roster. I'm a real champ, yeah, I'm not an imposter. A mic in my hand, I turn into a monster. Sad you're obsessed with the likes and the clicks. How you still saying turn in 2026? You really are lucky that you have any fans. But your luck will run out when you catch these hands. Damn. Yeah, how are you still doing the whip in 2026? And you know, it's good you don't even try to nay on that, because I think I would die from the cringe. For real. No cap. They all wanna be me, yo. They all wanna be B3. Trippy, pretty, witty. From the West Coast to New York City. You don't have the motion, you just have a name. Take away the brand, you are hella lame. I talk my talk and back it up easily. Got your girl yelling B3ID. B3ID.